won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilantes calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Harmon Smith's lost in Nintendo's dream, delusional faith blinded by the gleam. Defends every flaw like it's a sacred cause, but his blind devotion's just breaking laws. Player restless brings no honor or pride, throws family shade when he's running to hide. No integrity, just bitterness and spite, but the vigilante's here to set it right. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Cast guys, fake words can't hold the line. Sony fanboys smoke but his reviews don't shine. Switch for shields, the corporate game, selling hype and spin while we call out the shame. Dark trays and Nintendo fanboys stuck on repeat, says the same old lines like a broken beat. Recycling words, no fresh insight, but we break through the noise and bring the fight. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. If you're tired of fake, if you're done with the spin, join the fight, let the real talk begin. We're here for the truth, no need to hide, so make sure to like and subscribe. I'm the angry vigilante here to fight the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil. You can cry in the comments but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Harmon Smith's lost in Nintendo's dream, delusional faith blinded by the gleam. Defends every flaw like it's a sacred cause, but his blind devotion's just breaking laws. Player restless brings no honor or pride, throws family shade when he's running to hide. No integrity, just bitterness and spite, but the vigilante's here to set it right. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. Cast guys, fake words can't hold the line. Sony fanboys smoke but his reviews don't shine. Switch for shields, the corporate game, selling hype and spin while we call out the shame. Dark trays and Nintendo fanboys stuck on repeat, says the same old lines like a broken beat. Recycling words, no fresh insight, but we break through the noise and bring the fight. We're hot and salty tears, tearing down the walls. Fanboys falling fast, hear the vigilante's calls. No fake reviews, no corporate lies, just truth and fire burning in our eyes. If you're tired of fake, if you're done with the spin, join the fight, let the real talk begin. We're here for the truth, no need to hide, so make sure to like and subscribe. I'm the angry vigilante here to fight the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets
Hello, hello. How is it going, everyone? Oh, we got Patrick Murphy. Hey, Ingrid, how's it going? Raymond YouTube. Hello, man. We got Nintendo Salt Time. Absolutely, we got some Nintendo Salt Time. Or one of Harmon's goons. Oh, Harmon is going to be on here. Don't you guys worry. I got a couple videos from Harmon. So we're going to start off things. We're going to do an opener where I'm going to be talking about an ex fanboy just because, I like to give credit where credit is due. And also, he sat there and said, oh, well, I'm not really a Nintendo person. And it's like, but you bought a Switch too. So I am a little confused here. But can everybody hear me okay? Will you guys let me know if you can hear me? Here, let me see if I can hear myself. Hold on. Is everybody able to hear me? Can everyone hear me just fine? Just doing a mic check. Yep. Okay, I just heard myself on the phone. We are good to go. Hopefully everybody's day is going good. Let me get that video for us. Hello, and Jesus loves you. Yep, Jesus does. You are correct. Okay.
Hey there, guys.
Let me copy this on over, because for some reason, whenever I sit there and do it like this, it just always screws up, and I don't know why. I do not know why. Let me get it all set up here. There we go. Browse source.
Hey there, guys. Good to see you. I wanted to talk about this Sony handheld they're talking about. Guys, if this Sony dockable handheld is...
So, for all of you who do not know who this is Switch Addiction. Oh. Damn it. What the heck? Why is this thing messing up? Oh, I hate Streamlabs sometimes. Okay. Nope, we do not want that one. Browser. There we go. I'm sorry, guys. This thing is messing up pretty. I'm running behind today. I know it. I'm still new to it. I'm sorry. Please bear with me, guys. Please bear with me. I am not as a professional as Gara is. Gara of the Rage. I prefer the ROG Xbox and next PS portable over Switch. I hope the next PS one's going to be good. I'm always up for competition. We always need some competition here. There we
go. Hey there, guys. Good to see you. I wanted to talk about this Sony handheld they're talking about. Guys, if this Sony dockable handheld is a thing, and it is what I think it is, it's going to change everything for me.
Oh, I bet it's going to change a lot of things for a lot of Nintendo people. But just a little pro tip there, Switch Addiction. If you're going to put up a PlayStation, you probably should have just went with the PSP instead of the PS5. I think that would have hit better. Just saying.
I have a Switch addiction.
It's going to change literally everything. The main reason why I play Switch is to play things natively. I'm not a big Nintendo first-party guy.
Okay, come on, man. Please explain. How are you going to buy... I understand you want to play them natively, but it's not like the Switch sat here and got amazing third-party support here. So you really only had either shovelware or you sat here and had the Nintendo exclusive. So why are you really not a Nintendo person? That don't make a whole lot of sense, man. You're going to be sadly disappointed with that Switch too. Now it makes sense why you are.
I know some people think I'm a fanboy. I'm really not.
No, you're not a fanboy anymore. You have graduated to a fan. You held Nintendo accountable. I enjoyed that video you did.
I'd be fine never playing another Smash Brothers or Zelda game ever again.
I think Smash Brothers is so boring.
Okay. Even though you are no longer a fanboy to me, please put some respect on Super Smash Brothers' name. That is the best the Super Smash Brothers is the best fighting game we ever had. So please put some respect.
I just like fall asleep instantly playing that game.
Like, I'd be totally fine with that.
I mean, what would you rather have, Super Smash Brothers or Princess Peach Showtime? And you better be careful answering that.
To be honest, I'd probably rather. I consider myself more of a fan of Sony first
Wait, can everybody hear?
party stuff. To be honest,
Is everybody able to hear just fine?
I love Knack. I know Knack is like a meme at this point, but I love Knack, especially Knack 2. Knack 2 is a great beat 'em up with upgradable abilities. I love it.
Okay, I've never played Knack, but how are you more of a PlayStation fan, but then you sat here and got a Switch? There wasn't like a lot of PlayStation games went over there. I remember Control you were able to play on the cloud gaming, but that was it.
Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite like third-person open world games.
That was a good one. If anybody here has played Ghost of Yote, let me know. Is it actually worth getting? Because I've been holding off on it.
I mean, I'm not a big God of War guy, but like Uncharted, I like the first Last of Us, but like I'd consider myself more of a fan of Sony first-party stuff, really. So
Then why do you have a channel based around the Switch then, man? If you're more of a Sony person and you really don't like Nintendo first party titles, then why do you have a channel based around the Nintendo Switch, man? That don't make a whole lot of sense. But I understand. And if anybody needs a good thumbnail, there you go. There's a good thumbnail for the community.
if that stuff is playable natively, I don't know, man. it might change everything. I know it's kind of just a rumor at this point, but even just hearing the rumor got me excited thinking about the possibilities.
I will admit, when I heard the rumor about PlayStation doing another handheld, I got excited too because I love competition. You don't want just one company doing a handheld like that because then you see what happens with Nintendo. But if PlayStation and Nintendo were to go head to head in the handheld again, I remember the DS and the PSP. We got some amazing games and there was some great competition between the two. I just hope it ain't going to be as high as everyone thinks it is.
Can this thing come out? How much is it going to be? I mean, the Sony
I heard it's supposed to be like, what, 600? Has anybody heard any different?
prices have been insane. How much is the Pro now? Like $700? Like a portable version of that is not going to be cheap. But to be honest, if all they have is a home console next...
Wait, are you saying that my mic don't sound good? Here, hold on real quick. Let me I tested it out beforehand. Hold on. Can anybody hear? Yeah, the mic sounds fine. What are you talking about? I swear. All right, let's go back to watching this again before I was so rudely interrupted.
generation, I'll probably skip it because without the portableness that I've gotten used to with the Switch, I don't think I have much interest in another big box that just plugs up into my TV.
Okay, but I understand that you say that you don't like Nintendo's first-party games, though, man. But listen, when it came to the Switch, what other games besides the first party were they were? Yeah, I guess if you are into the JRPG, I just finally got Astral Chain. One of my family members bought it as an early birthday present for me, so they were like, here, you got to play this. They told me Astral Chain is like the greatest game on the Switch, so I need to give it a shot.
Really don't. I did not play my Xbox.
Knack is garbage. And then another person said Knack is a good game. Well, that's one person saying good, one person saying it's garbage. Can someone be a tiebreaker, please, and let me know?
Much. I really don't play my PS5 much. I've really just been playing it more now because of my OLED TV, just to see how nice everything looks. But if all that stuff is playable on the go, oh my gosh, that's going to be a new world for me.
It's going to be a new world for all the Nintendo people. Just wait till that Sonic Crossworlds comes out. I got a video dropping here in 45 minutes about the new Sonic Crossworld. I played the beta, and I could definitely tell you I am excited for the competition. Boy, am I excited.
I know we've gotten used to not having an achievement system and trophies with the Switch, but having those back and having those popping while you're out on the go, and then, you know, when you connect to Wi-Fi, they'll actually update your profile. Sounds pretty fun to me, to be honest. So I don't know, man. Right when I heard about this, I was like, oh, geez, I got to make a video about this. Because what do you guys think? Like, would you jump ship? Like, would you jump?
Now, I'll be playing both. I have a PS5 and a Switch too, so I would still play both. There's good games on both platforms, if we're all being honest. But yes, my guy, you should probably sit here and keep your eyes on the road. You don't want to be staring at the camera, man. But I am glad that you got a better microphone, because I remember that very first video I reacted of yours. Man, yeah, that audio is not the best, but I'm glad you got a better microphone.
Ship from Switch to go to a portable, dockable PlayStation console? I think I might, because I'm really not like a Nintendo guy, so I'm like a portable native playing guy. That's
Okay, is it me? Can you guys please explain to me, if you're going to get a Switch, wouldn't it make sense that you would actually have to enjoy the Switch games? Because if you're not really a Nintendo guy, what other games besides a few good RPGs are there really to play on the Switch? Am I right, or am I just reading too much into it?
that's my thing. So right when I heard about that, I was like, oh my gosh, this might change literally everything. I actually hope that they take what they learned from the Portal and implement it into this thing. The best thing about
Well, I mean, all they have to do is make a real handheld that you can play games natively on. I mean, they don't have to sit here and learn from the Portal. I mean, what they need to do is learn from the PS Vita.
the Portal was how comfortable it was. It literally feels like a DualSense controller cut in half. And I know a lot of people made fun of it when they first saw it, like, oh, this looks like a DualSense cut
Hey, did anybody have a PS Portal? Was it actually any good?
in half. Yeah, it looks funny, but it's super comfortable. Like, I had a Portal for like half a year, and it was a big $200 paperweight for me, but it was a very comfortable feeling paperweight. I mean, I couldn't do much with it because I would always use it for like...
I will take your word on that one, Raymond. I've never really played the Ace Combat games, so I have no idea if they're any good.
I was out at hotels and stuff, and it was so spotty as to whether it was going to work or not. But one thing that was always true was it was super comfortable. I've been a huge PlayStation Portable fan ever since the PSP.
I think you're one of the few that, well, come on, man. PlayStation oh, you said portable. Never mind. I got it confused. I thought he said PlayStation Portal. Yes, I was a huge PSP person, and I did enjoy the PS Vita in the beginning.
I remember slumming it with the DS. I didn't like the DS. I think dual screens are like totally pointless. I'm like, I can just press the start button and see my map, thank you very much. Or I can just press this button and see my inventory.
Oh boy, you're going to get so much hate from your community. You do realize that you're going against your community right now. I know you say you're not really a Nintendo guy, but you have a channel based around the Nintendo Switch. You're going to get some hate there, Switch Addiction.
I never really got the appeal of that system at all. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, we want like a DS system now and a clamshell to play ROMs and two screens. Why? Like, just...
I mean, I think you already have. I don't really deal with the whole emulation, but can't you buy like a third-party clamshell thing where you can play ROMs on already?
Press start. You don't need it. I was always way more into the PlayStation Portable, and I was like super in on the Vita. I always remember the first time I saw a game running.
I was into the Vita in the beginning until PlayStation abandoned it and turned it into a damn paperweight. I was so angry.
On PSP, I was like, oh my gosh, they've done it. Like, now we can play console quality games in the palm of our hand on these little UMDs. And it was mind-blowing. I wish it had another stick. That was like my one sticking point with the PSP. And if we had, you know, bumpers and triggers on that thing, I would have been way more into it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet we all would have. Who here is excited for another PSP? Does anybody else want another PSP or not?
But I absolutely loved the PSP. If you saw my room tour video, I used to have a ton of PSP stuff. It's all gone now, unfortunately. I just don't play it anymore. I'm such a Switch guy now. And the Vita...
Yep, you're such a Switch guy who doesn't really care for the Nintendo games. Hey, I don't want to point anything out. I don't want to keep making fun, but come on. That one is kind of funny, right? When are we going to get to Harmon? I want to see his ass get sent to the skip. Well, it's going to be a little bit because we got to catch up on some videos. And if you guys are here for Player Essence, trust me, I got some big news right after this video. I was just waiting for some more people to come in, so that's why I started with this guy. And next is going to be about Player Essence because of how much of a coward he is. You honestly will not believe it.
Vita took it one step further. We had dual sticks, which I was super happy. Killzone Liberation plays great on that thing. The first time I played that, I was like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
See, now you do it right. This is what you should have done in the very beginning. Instead of showing the PS5, you should have just shown the PSP or the PS Vita.
Unfortunately, the support wasn't there for the Vita. The memory cards were too expensive. And, the game support went away quicker than I wanted. It was kind of a failure. I love the Vita. I would love to see Sony take another shot in the handheld market. That would be so flippin' cool. And if it's dockable, oh my gosh. Are some of you guys just like diehard Nintendo fans and you'll just, stick with them for whatever?
Yeah, I'm not a diehard any platform fan. I care more about good games, and I'm going to play where I can get the best deal. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I care more about.
This actually got me thinking. I actually would probably jump ship if it was super powerful and could play all those first-party Sony games and had trophies. And I don't know, man. It might change everything. We'll try and keep our ears to the ground and find out any kind of rumors about it, but kind of crazy. Sorry for this car rant, but I couldn't write any of this down, and I was thinking a lot about it on the way home. So let me know what you guys think in the comment below. Would you be interested in a Switch-like device from Sony? I definitely would be.
No. Don't disrespect PlayStation like that. It's not a Switch-like device. It's going to be a PSP-like device. Come on, man.
Very, very interested. So thank you so much to my subscribers. I think we're up to 440 now. Dang, son. I'm so excited about that. Let's get us to 500. Let's keep going. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.
Yep, good job, man. I actually do enjoy Switch Addiction's videos, so if you guys ever go check him out, let him know I sent you. Don't send no hate. He is no longer a Nintendo fanboy anymore. So, for the next video, now I can't play Player Essence live stream because he took it down. So, essentially what happened, Player Essence challenged this man. He is a huge fan of the channel. He is known as DBZ Nation. And Player Essence challenged him to a debate. And he accepted, and you'll see what happens. You'll hear it from this man's mouth. Now, this is his live stream. He said I could play it pretty much. I don't have to react to it that much. But I'm not going to do the whole thing because he did like an hour live stream. DBZ Nation, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I can't react to your whole live stream. That's just a little too long for me. So this is about an 11-minute clip from that live stream. All right? So let's see.
Was asking questions. I was talking to Player Essence directly in his chat room, and I asked him. I say, well, why does Mario Kart World cost $80, and do you think it's a good system? And why does Madden 25 run so poorly on this so-called superior console? Because I have Elden Ring. I played Elden Ring on my channel. You can scroll down and look at my live stream. It runs great on my PlayStation.
Hold on, let me. For some reason, this one is playing a little too fast.
It runs great on my PlayStation.
Now it's running too slow.
And so, like I said again, this was like my first time. I've been on Player Essence channel before, but this is my first time really interacting with him. And so, make a long story short, he calls me out for a debate. He said, "Hey, you can go check it out." Like I said.
All right, so I watched Player Essence live stream before he actually took it down. So what happened was, he sat here, said something about Elden Ring, and we all know how Player Essence gets. He doesn't like having any criticism towards his favorite piece of plastic, and he's like, oh, well, you don't even know if it's out yet. It's just a demo, and starts freaking out a little bit. And then starts calling them names. And then someone says, oh, he's a content creator. And then Player Essence starts apologizing and is like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Here, I'm sorry I called you names. Here, you want to do a debate? And then he accepted the debate. Okay? Just keep that all in mind. Okay? Player Essence challenged this man and accepted, and then see what he does.
I left a link to his channel. You go check it out. Our back and forth. So Player Essence says, hey, I want to do a debate about, Nintendo Switch. I said, cool, I'll do the debate with you. And so he tells me to, I say, when do you want to do the debate? He said, we can do it Friday. I said, how about we do it tomorrow? And you can see all this in the chat room, so you know I'm not lying.
Unfortunately, like I said, Player Essence took down the video, so you can't actually watch it. So that just shows you how much of a coward he is. How's it going, Jay Briggs?
I said, let's do it tomorrow. He says, cool, let's do it tomorrow. He says, hey, email me, and we can discuss what topics you want to debate on. But I want to do it on Discord. I said, I don't have a Discord. I say, talking to Player Essence, I say, do you have a StreamYard?
Just so you know, DBZ Nation, I would prefer to do it on Discord. Discord is a lot easier and a lot better, I think, than trying to hook up StreamYards.
He said, yes, I have StreamYard. He said, I got StreamYard. I said, okay, well, let's just do it on StreamYard. So we emailing it. Keep in mind, Player Essence is live the whole time. He's live the whole time. And so I told him in the email, I said, let's debate. He asked me what we want to talk. I said, let's debate Nintendo Switch versus PlayStation. So he's like, man, that's a good idea. So he's...
Yeah, I bet he did sit there and say that, and then he sat here and changed it up and was like, oh no, I don't want to do this console war crap, which that's all Player Essence ever does. Yeah, exactly. Discord is the best. And Harmon Smith doing actual research. Come on, Professor Poopy Pants, you know better than that, man. You've been watching Harmon Smith for how long? When does that man ever do any damn research?
Starts to investigate my channel. Now you can check all this out. And Brother Dwayne 87, I know you probably... Now you can check, this is last night. When Player Essence went to my channel, he started to look, he's like, oh man, this guy's really a gamer. This guy's really serious about this content. See, Player Essence, he thought I was just some Johnny-come-lately. Player Essence thought I was some Johnny-come-lately that I didn't know what I was talking about. And when he seen the videos...
Well, that's how Player Essence treats mostly everybody. He even treats his own people he calls homies, for crying out loud. That's what type of man he is. So it doesn't surprise me. But does anybody know what that saying is, Johnny-come-lately? What does that mean? Let me know down below.
Of me exposing Nintendo and Nintendo Switch, he started to backtrack. Now, the people in this chat room are talking about, oh man, DBZ Nation is a cool guy. I like him. It's going to be an awesome debate. People start saying that. And so what he does, he said, no, I don't want to debate Nintendo Switch versus PlayStation. That's old news.
Now, it's not old news. The reason why he doesn't want to debate it is because he can't manipulate it. We all know Player Essence only is willing to debate people on topics that he is able to manipulate to put into his favor. That's why he wants to debate like sales type stuff. Because, he says that it's selling well. I say it's starting to die off and it's leveling off. The thing is, I don't know physically if the Switch 2 is selling well or not. Neither does Player Essence. The only person who knows is Nintendo themselves, and they're not saying. So we're all speculating. So you can take sales data and manipulate it any way you want to if you want to be correct. That's what topic Player Essence wanted to debate, and that's the reason why. Because it shows.
So I said, okay, what's your suggestion, Player Essence? We can talk about, Donkey Kong Bonanza, that whack game Nintendo got called, it's called, Drift and Drag, whatever it's called. I said, man, we can debate whatever you want to debate about. And so, I'm interacting with the people in the chat room. He times me out. Now, keep in mind, he went to my channel to see what I've been doing and talking about. And he thought he was going to have an easy debate win. He thought that I was somebody that he could have debated and had an easy win for Nintendo.
Well, that is just how Player Essence is. He tries to sit here and he treats everybody like that. That's really the only people he wants to debate where he thinks he's going to get an easy win. If he doesn't think he's going to get an easy win, he has to team up. He showed everybody how he really was. And J Biggs, Johnny-come-lately is like an old school WWF when Bobby Heenan would call someone a ham and eager or basically a jobber. Oh, okay, got you. Harmon would whine if Twisted Metal gets a new game because of the show. I would love a new Twisted Metal game, so Harmon can just, he can go F off if he don't want that. Wii U sold 15 million, Xbox sells 40 million. They both flopped. We must be patient. Is 40 million really a flop? I know it's not amazing, but I would still think that's better. I'm disgusted with Player Essence the moment he brought some other content creator's family into an argument was just disgusting to me. I agree, but he did apologize. I will give him that one. He did sit here, apologize, owned up to it, so I will give him credit for that.
And I want to thank Angry Vigilante Show, who makes some very good content. Shout out, much love to the Angry Vigilante, who called this out. He messaged me this morning and told me he saw the show and he saw how Player Essence banned me. So boom.
Oh yeah. After he found out what topics he wanted to debate and he realized he couldn't stand on his own when it came to those topics, he just immediately banned them. Didn't even give him a chance to even change the topics.
I go to my channel, I do me a little live stream. I did a Sonic the Hedgehog live last night, whatever. So I come back and I go back to Player Essence channel and I ask him, I say, hey, well, look, what suggestions would you like? What would you like to debate about? He started calling me a clout chaser, talking about, then he says, he doesn't want to debate no more.
Yeah, so what happened was Player Essence read the email. One of the topics he said, hey, if you don't want to talk about PlayStation and Nintendo, how about we talk about Mario Kart World? And immediately Player Essence is like, oh no, you're just clout chasing. No, it is perfectly reasonable to want to talk about Mario Kart World. There are many criticisms to that game, but the reason why he doesn't want to talk about it is because no matter what, because of the type of channel he has built, there's no positive way for him to defend Mario Kart World. So it's either he's going to sit here, defend it, and defend the $80 price tag, or he's going to go against it, and it's a lose-lose. There's no benefit for him to do it. But the simple fact is, Player Essence, you challenged the man. You said, and you told him here, let me know what topics you wanted to debate. So you were up for the crap to begin with. And then you ran away, banned him when you realized you couldn't hold your own in the debate against him for the topics that he chose. And then you ran away and banned him like a damn coward. And then you took your live stream down.
Because I'm going to be so easy to beat. So, Player Essence, I'm calling you out, brother. I'm calling you out in front of the whole YouTube gaming nation. Player Essence, if you stand by Nintendo, like you say you stand by Nintendo, if their product is so good, if Elden Ring runs so good on the Nintendo Switch, if Mario Kart World is worth $80, if Zelda Breath of the Wild is...
Well, technically DBZ Nation, he loves to say, oh, Mario Kart, I've already said Mario Kart World isn't worth $80. I made a video on it, it's over. But the simple fact is he supports it, he hypes up the game, he knows people are going to spend it. So when it comes down to it, we all know if there wasn't no bundle and you only could pay $80 for it, we all know he would spend the money. I mean, come on. Would anybody think any differently of him? Would someone actually think that even though he says he doesn't think it's worth $80, do you think he would stand on that and stand on ground and be like, nope, I'm not buying it? We all know what he would do. He would bend the knee.
Such a great game. If you stand by Nintendo and you're willing to fall on the sword for Nintendo, then debate me. If I don't want to debate on no Discord, I want to debate you face to face. We can do it on StreamYard, on your channel or my channel. And I got...
Well, DBZ Nation, if he ever does come back and finally agrees to the debate that he challenged you to, I would recommend you to have it on someone else's channel, and I would recommend there to be a mediator. You need to have a mediator when it comes to Player Essence. You need to have someone to keep him in check.
I got a challenge for you, Player Essence. Excuse me. If you defeat me in this debate, it can be, I don't care what the topic is. It can be about Nintendo Switch, some of them games you talking about. If you defeat me in a debate, Player Essence, I will send you $500 cash money to your cash.
Hey, DBZ Nation, you know, if that's still down, hey, you know, I'll debate you. I'll pretend to be Player Essence if you want. I got no problem with that. Oh, it's the Gaming Rift. Did you have fun with that Sonic Crossroll beta? I played it last night. It was actually really good. DBZ Nation. Hey, now you just put in the chat, hey man, I'll pretend to be Player Essence for the $500 challenge. Can I pretend to be Player Essence, man? Come on.
App or your PayPal.
What do you mean, Gaming Rift?
So don't try to spin. I seen you last night trying to spin the narrative, talking about I don't know what I'm talking about. You can't debate nobody stupid because it's gonna be an easy win. And I'm trying to just disparage Nintendo because Nintendo is so great. You Nintendo fanboys are delusional. You mean to tell me, Player Essence, that Elden Ring has been out for 3 years? Let me say that again. Elden Ring has been out for 3 years. And you mean to tell me that the people who've been playing Elden Ring on the Switch 2, who had the chance, who's saying that the game runs poorly, you telling me, making excuses, talking about, well, we got to wait till it actually come out to see.
I partly agree with that one, you know, because the demo might not be fully thing. But the thing is, the demo is meant to get people excited for the game. So if the demo looks like crap, that's not going to get people excited for the game. They have a chance to fix it, but I think it shows that it's just very difficult to optimize for the Switch 2. And the Gaming Rift, the beta is really fun. Oh, I loved it. When I was playing it last night, I was thoroughly enjoying it. But I can tell, at least I'm hoping that they're hiding it. I really hope that there's boss battles, and I really hope that there's a story mode. That game needs it badly. But I did enjoy playing as Joker. I didn't do that 4v4v4 thing. I just did the Grand Prix stuff, and that was it.
A 3-year-old game, and look, it's not just Elden Ring. It's not just Elden Ring that runs bad on the Switch 2. Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Madden 25.
Madden definitely runs bad. You forgot Star Wars Outlaw there.
Runs terrible on the Nintendo Switch. So if you stick by Nintendo.
Alrighty. Yep, we got Harmon Smith next. So DBZ Nation, I said earlier before you were able to join, I'm not able to react to the whole live stream, my guy. You know, you did like a 50-something minute long one. That's just a little too long. So I sectioned out about a 12-minute section of your live stream that I thought was the best part of it, that showcased what your point you were trying to prove was. But yes, as everybody just knows now, Player Essence is a coward. He literally challenged someone to a debate and then ran. Okay, so Gaming Rift, for the context, he was in, if you know who Player Essence is, he was in Player Essence's channel, asked him about why does Elden Ring run bad, and then Player Essence started calling him a bunch of names, and then when found out he was a content creator, Player Essence challenged him to a debate, and then told him, hey, email me the topics that you want to talk about, and then we'll sit here and get it all set up for the next day. So he emails them, and then Player Essence didn't, when he said, okay, here, let's debate Mario Kart World. Player Essence didn't want to sit here and debate Mario Kart World, and didn't even give him a chance to even change a topic or pick a different one. Just immediately started calling him names, saying he was uneducated, saying that he was a grifter, he was a clout chaser, and then just banned him. So he sat here, challenged the man to a debate, and then when he realized that he couldn't manipulate the topics in his favor, decided to sit here and ban him and run away and hide, and then took down his live stream on top of that. But yes, now we got Miss Cody Lee coming in. There's a person in the comment right now that loves to call him Miss Cody Lee.
It's time to address the Nintendo Switch 2 third-party fallacy, because this is an epidemic.
Harmon, there is no fallacy. the third-party support is going to dry up soon. It's already showing.
In the community, something that everyone does and yet isn't really being called out at this stage. And I think this is the most critical aspect of the Switch 2 and its launch lineup, its post-launch period, and just the coping and seething we've seen from PC gamers and alternative platform fans.
Oh, so now he's not just saying PC gamers. I think he finally realized that I don't just play on PC, because he used to always reference us as PC gamers. And then I kept telling him, I'm not technically a PC gamer. I play on multiple platforms. So now he's starting to pay attention to my videos.
The obsession with pretending as if people don't play third-party games on this platform. Because
Harmon, just because you raise your voice doesn't make it correct. You need to settle down now, okay? We already see it flapping around. We don't need to see the chub flapping anymore.
from where I'm sitting, right now I'm playing through Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm going to pick up Silk Song when it comes out. Down the line, I'll be playing games.
Harmon, are you sure you want to pick up Silk Song? That might be too difficult of a game for you to play.
Games like, I don't know, Shinobi, like Katamari Damacy. There's just lots of really good, high-profile games on the horizon for this thing. But the way you hear YouTubers tell it every single time is that those games don't count because they're not Nintendo exclusives. So
when does anybody ever say that? Okay, if third party sells good on the Nintendo Switch, people will sit here and give it credit. What you're referring to is that people are saying that those don't count for launch games or games to play because they're old ports. Those games are old. They came out 3 years ago. You're finally playing catch up right now, Harmon.
So, we're at the weird point where Nintendo Switch 2 is getting third-party games. They are identical to the high-end PC version.
Harmon, they are not identical. Madden is not identical to the PC part. Okay, WWE 2K, not identical. They took away the community creative part, but left in the microtransaction mode. So Harmon, stop. Okay, Hogwarts Legacy, they sat here and had to cut out some stuff of that too. Even look at Cyberpunk 2077. If you compare it to the PS5, the reason why that one's able to run very well, or as well as it can, is because they sat here and cut out, the city isn't as busy. There's not as many people driving around like you will see in the PS5 version, Harmon, or the PC version. So just stop, Harmon. They are not. Elden Ring runs like crap. We hear Star Wars Outlaws is running like crap. It's okay, Harmon. You can accept it.
Versions. There's no discernible,
Well, from some of the footage that I've seen online and from what everyone is saying that played the demo, they're saying that Elden Ring is running terrible on the Switch too. I don't know if it was in dock mode or handheld mode, but it looks bad.
cut content or changes made or anything of that nature. The Switch 2 version is on par with the other versions of these games, and yet you're still seeing people insist that nobody is gonna play Silk Song on Nintendo Switch 2 when...
Harmon, are you having these conversations in your head again? Because I have never once heard anybody sit here and say that no one's gonna play that on the Switch 2. Or this was it coming out for the Switch, but I've never heard anybody say that they're not going to play it on the Switch 2. That game looks like it will run perfectly fine. That does not look like a demanding game, Harmon. What the hell are you talking about?
Nintendo Switch is actually the most popular platform, the most popular console for it. Silk Song is...
I'm pretty certain that'll be PC, Harmon. Put some respect on PC's name.
By far going to outstrip the PlayStation and Xbox versions on Nintendo platforms, and very likely may also outstrip the PC version. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But this is an example of a major third-party game that's launching day and date on Nintendo Switch 2. And
Harmon, you do understand. Okay, and I'm not trying to downplay Hollow Knight here, but from how Silk Song looks, it does not look comparable to the third party, like a Borderlands 4 or the other games like Mafia: The Old Country, or how about the new Metal Gear Solid game or Lost Soul Aside, those games look way more demanding than Hollow Knight Silksong does. Harmon, you are comparing an indie game, okay, that is like a lower budget type of game compared to a AAA game, Harmon. There's a huge difference on how it can handle.
Everyone's just brushing it under the rug. Like, they're trying to say that, like, people are going to play it on other platforms, that it doesn't matter, or that, like, this isn't a major release. And it's just the biggest of Kamehameha Copes. You know, like,
Harmon, how many times do we have to be through this? Don't ever reference Dragon Ball Z. Do not disrespect that franchise, sir. You will put some respect on their names. And for God's sake, get a better camera already. You have been doing YouTube longer than me. You have more subscribers than I do. How do you not have a better camera now?
you keep seeing this when, like, with people like Darkside Phil, like, oh, once I'm done with, like, Donkey Kong Bonanza, the Switch 2 is just going to collect dust again.
Harmon, are you really saying DSP? No one takes DSP seriously. How many times do we have to go through this? Does anybody in the chat take that man seriously? Let me know.
And I'm just like, hey, genius, you've been playing that game thing consistently.
Oh, trust me, Jay Biggs, you don't really want to listen to this guy, but he's part of your community, man. He's one of your brethren, along with the Sandfall podcast. I'm telling you, man, or the Rebirth one. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot poor guy's YouTube channel's name, but you know what I'm talking about. He's a part of that community. He ain't a part of ours. Don't you send him over to us.
Since Mario Kart World came out, even if you're like Darkside Phil and spend like a month playing Mario Kart and then a month playing Bonanza, like you've been playing the Switch too. Like, what exactly who exactly are you trying to convince that this?
Okay, Harmon, I understand this is hard for you to understand. Okay, I have more than one platform. So if I have a chance to play it on the Switch 2, or I'm going to play it on the PS5, I'm probably going to choose a PS5 or a PC, just so you realize, generally, the games do play better. Now, for Hollow Knight Silksong, I don't think it's going to matter whether you play it on a Switch 2, on a PC, or on a PS5. I don't think it's really going to make a huge difference on which way is going to be the better one. This is a very, like, low type of indie game. Looks phenomenal, but it's not a AAA game. It's not a demanding game here, Harmon. There's something wrong in your head. There seriously is. Next, you're going to sit here and complain and say, oh, well, we're getting a collection from the Super Nintendo era of games, day and date with the rest of them. Congratulations.
This thing like isn't doing well, or that people aren't playing games on it. Like, you can see people like Mudahar.
That's actually a good one, J Biggs. Oh, come on, man. He loves you guys. Hey, I'm telling you, man, you guys need to find him a wife already. No, he's not funny. I mean, if you go watch his shorts, if you're ever bored and you just want a quick laugh, go watch his shorts. They're actually hilarious.
Who like begged his audience to like not buy this thing, and then had to like, turn tail and pick one.
Yes, is what they gave me. That's how I felt. Most gamers have multiple platforms. They have options when it comes to versions. That's very true. But if we're being honest, I think there's only going to be one version of Silksong. I don't think that the PS5 or the PC version of Silksong is going to be different than the Switch 2. Just saying. As a Buzz Lightyear would say to Harmon, you are a sad, sad, lonely little man. Yes, he is.
One up anyway, because like, I'm a YouTuber. I had to pick it up because I had to review it, so I can tell you not to buy it. Like, you bought it, okay?
I mean, it's kind of very true. The reason why I'm reviewing the games is because you guys aren't giving honest feedback when it comes to the games. You keep hyping every single game up. Someone has to give honest reviews for Nintendo's games.
You debunk your own argument by buying it. And that's true for like every other personality on the platform. Like every single person who insists that there's nothing coming out for this thing.
There's not a whole lot coming out, Harmon. Sorry to tell you. Not just for the Switch too. Now, if you want to sit here and talk about the Switch, yeah, there's plenty coming out for the Switch.
Who aren't playing their consoles. Like, they are completely and totally delusional. Like, Fratanga plays like...
Oh, you better hope Pertenga don't find out about this, Harmon. You better put some respect on that popsicle's name.
Like Darkside Phil, like the list.
I mean, that's just pure disrespect right there. Trying to put Pertenga Plays and DSP in the same situation here, Harmon. Oh man, you just wait till Pertenga finds out about that.
Goes on and on and on and on and on. Like the community really doesn't want to admit just how successful the Switch 2 has been out of the gate. Like
Harmon, it's already showing that the hype is dying down. It's not selling as well. You don't want that 2 months into it.
Successful in fact that I really don't expect PlayStation and Xbox to really recover. And we are going to see a gradual decline of relevancy from PC gaming because of
Harmon, PC gaming is never going to become relevant or irrelevant. Would you like to know why? All the games are made on PC. Do you understand that?
that.
Yes, he really did say that, DBZ Nation.
Monster Hunter Wilds being a really good example where the game is basically unplayable on PC,
which, okay, even though I love Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm having a lot of fun on the PS5. I do feel bad for the PC people that you guys got that terrible port. I really do. Still doesn't sit here and change the fact that I love the game on the PS5.
Tanked in relevancy, like Capcom.
Harmon, the game sold over 10 million copies. That has not tanked in relevancy. They're literally coming out with a new event. They're doing a cross promotion with Final Fantasy. How is it losing relevancy here? You have no idea what that word even means.
Has not fixed the game after months, and now it's this hugely hated game in the community.
It is not a hated game. Yes, PC may not be happy with it, but don't worry. When it gets, there's probably people on the PC right now that are modding the game to run better. See, unlike Nintendo, they don't have to wait for the people to fix the game. They can do it them damn selves.
It's not something people are talking about, but the entire narrative among the PC master race that PC gaming was going to save us from consoles has completely and utterly imploded. And I do think the Switch 2 is a really good indication of how that's going to look, because this console had a high number of high-profile third-party ports day one that found success.
Harmon, there was maybe 2 that found success. Cyberpunk 2077 and Street Fighter 6. And were like, Cyberpunk was like 3 years old, and I think Street Fighter 6 was like 2 years old, Harmon. Those games sold phenomenally well before the Switch 2 even released. Of course they would continue to sell, Harmon. And also, when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, it was people were pushing people to go buy that game just to support physical media. So because it sold well, doesn't mean it actually sold because people wanted to play it.
Like, let's just face the facts. Hitman was successful, Street Fighter 6 was successful, Fantasy Life 2 was successful, Tony Hawk was successful, Hogwarts Legacy has been successful,
Hogwarts Legacy is successful because you could buy $10 online and then do a $10 upgrade. That's the only reason why that game was successful, Harmon.
Dragon Ball, Sparkling Zero will be successful, Elden.
Wait, the game just came out. That game is not... Have you not heard how terrible that game runs, Harmon? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's been successful? Harmon, you need to stop looking at the eShop and stop looking at the top games being sold, because they don't give you sales numbers. You have no idea. Like, the 5th game could have sold 100 copies and still be number 5. You don't know how many they sold, Harmon.
Ring will be successful.
That's almost as bad as getting your information off of ChatGPT.
All of these games are coming out on this platform, some of them day and date, some of them late ports. Some of them are...
Yes, and if the system was as good as many people were gonna, or you keep saying it is, you would get them day and date.
Like, coming out on this platform and finding huge success. And
can you name any besides Cyberpunk 2077, Harmon, or Street Fighter 6? Both games which you completely bashed. You hated them.
Sometimes in really shocking,
Oh, he's far beyond delusional. He ain't just delusional or so delusional. He's far beyond that one.
Hitman's a really good example. It's a game I didn't get a hold of. It's something that I wasn't going to pick up on PC or other platforms. And I saw it was on Switch 2, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to pick that up. And guess what?
You do realize, Harmon, that when at launch, there was a third party who was complaining that the game did not meet expectations. And it is speculated that it was that game, Harmon, that you were sitting here saying that you love. Most people smoke cigarettes. Harmon smokes the CO2 in the ozone layer. Yes, he does. It's crazy the Nintendo Switch 2 is almost $500 and just gives gamers the bare minimum who support Nintendo. They're taking advantage of low information gamers respectfully. Some of them, yes.
Now it's one of my favorite games on the platform. And
well, you know, the game probably is better than Mario Kart World. I mean, that's not really a hard thing to accomplish. So far, what I played for the beta, I do think Sonic Crossroads is better. What about you, Gaming Riff? Which one do you think's better?
Probably one of the best games I've played this year. You know, like, just because these ports are late aren't diminishing their relevancy or success, you know?
Congratulations, they're selling well, Harmon, but because you guys are getting late ports, it doesn't give you like an up in this made-up console war that you think you have.
Because the good games are still getting released on Nintendo platforms. You know, like,
why hasn't Lost Soul Aside been released? Why hasn't the Metal Gear Solid remake been released? Why hasn't Mafia the Old Country been released, Harmon? Can you please explain? 3 brand new ones that just came out. Why are they not being released?
Like, it's just like...
Oh, I agree. I have a video coming out today. Actually, in 4 minutes, it's going to be released about about the beta for Crossworlds, and I think they do need to polish some stuff out, but I really want them to have a story mode and boss battles. Don't you agree that game should have a story mode?
Like, this huge double standard. Like, it's a complete reversal of what we saw back in the Wii U days, where like third parties didn't put their games on the console at all. Like,
that's not true. In the very beginning, they did put some of their games on there, just that nobody bought them.
Now they are. You know, they're begging Nintendo, like,
Harmon, almost every new system when it comes to Nintendo, since the Wii, with the Wii U, the Switch, or the Switch 2, they put games in the very beginning on there. And when the sales weren't meeting their expectations, they pulled out.
To put their games on their console because, like, you know, their preferred platforms are going bust right now. You know, they're putting...
Harmon, the PC and PS5 are not going bust. Do you realize that PS5 will most likely hit 100 million units? You do understand that, right?
Their games out there, and yeah, they're doing very, 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 very well.
I mean, can you please sit here and show the sales data for once? Can you, all these so-called third-party games that you mentioned, okay, I will give you 2 of them are doing well. Well, now 4 of them are doing well because Madden's doing well also, and so is WWE. But outside those 4, all those third parties that you're getting, Harmon, please explain, how are they doing well? Give us the sales data already.
And yet you're still seeing people act as if Nintendo is somehow behind the times or...
Because they are behind the times. You need to accept this.
Can't compete, or that, like, they're too expensive. Like, just compare the...
They are too expensive. Nintendo has literally released 4 $80 games, Harmon. They are expensive.
The complaints about the price of Switch 2 versus the absolute crickets we have just heard in regards to Sony raising the price of the PS5 Pro to, like...
Harmon, what are you talking about? We all have complained about the PS5 going up. The reason why you don't see as much criticism like you do with Nintendo is because there weren't fanboys except for Reforge running around defending it en masse like you guys were.
$700. You know, who do you even know who is acknowledging that as like a real thing that actually happened? Who do you know who's bringing...
Bertanga. Oh no, it's Alex. Gara the Rage. Many more people sat here and made videos on it, Harmon.
Bringing that up. Like, who even like acknowledges that's a thing? And
many of us have. I literally released a video complaining about PlayStation raising their prices. When they're making record-breaking profits, then they raise the prices. No, they shouldn't have raised the prices, Harmon. Just wait till Nintendo does it with the Switch 2. But we know you're going to damage control for them like you always do.
Meanwhile, you had these entire, like, campaigns trying to boycott the Switch 2, trying to, like, downplay every single...
Harmon, I thought you don't like Nintendo Prime. Why are you watching this damn crap? There was no campaigns to boycott the Switch 2, for crying out loud, Harmon. You guys are making all that up in your head. Most people were just voicing their opinions about the system. I did sit here and say that we should boycott Mario Kart World. I will definitely admit that one, and that boycott failed. But what do you expect when we got YouTubers like you hyping the crap up?
Single one of its games, and it's just resulted in this extremely embarrassing just cope cycle that, like,
Harmon, do you ever rewatch your videos afterwards? Maybe you should start doing that. You have no room to talk about embarrassing.
I think has been imploding upon itself since the console came out, because you're not fooling anybody if you try and say Mario Kart World is a bad game. You're not fooling anybody if you try and say Donkey Kong Bonanza is a bad game.
Mario Kart World is actually a fun game. It's overpriced though. The game is not worth $80. And DK Bonanza is also a fun game, Harmon, but the problem is there wasn't enough quality content to justify a $70 price tag. Even you yourself said that game was overhyped, but when someone criticizes it, you can't handle it.
Like, even if those games aren't your favorites, there are plenty of other options on the platform.
Like what, Harmon? Please tell me a game that you can play on the Switch 2 that you cannot play on the Switch. Please tell me.
And you can't simply just point to other versions of these games that exists on other platforms and say that that somehow like discredits the Nintendo version. No.
Yes, Madden is terrible on the Switch too. So is the WWE. They cut content from it, Harmon. PS5, PC, Xbox, those versions are far superior than the Switch 2. When Elden Ring comes out, it's already showing us that it's going to be a terrible port. Star Wars Outlaws, even though that game is just terrible, from what I've heard, I haven't played the game, but Star Wars Outlaws is going to be a terrible game regardless. But that port that you guys keep sitting here getting all excited over is supposed to run terribly also. Harmon, maybe you should play these games and then go play on other... See, if you were to play on your PC or you were to go buy a PS5, you would understand how some of these games do in fact play better. But the problem is you live in this echo chamber where you only want to hear the good things about Nintendo and you never want to listen to the bad things.
That isn't how this works. You are not going.
So far, I agree with you, Gaming Rift. I actually am kind of regretting buying the Switch 2 because I thought DK Bonanza was going to be a hit. I really did. I thought that game was going to slap, but unfortunately, it was overpriced for what they gave us.
Going to downplay third-party games on Nintendo consoles. You are not going to walk off the fact that you lied about how well these games were doing.
Harmon, you're the only one that's lying. You didn't even do any research about the damn games. We're not lying about them. Madden does not run well. Elden Ring is not going to run well. Star Wars Outlaw isn't going to run well. I know there's some other games that I cannot remember off the top of my damn head.
At launch, you were...
Oh, you know it, Rosie. Trust me. You know how many times he said Cope already in this video? Trust me, we got another video coming up towards the end. Don't you worry.
Not going to escape the reality that you have found yourself in where Nintendo is the market leader, that PC and mobile cannot compete.
Harmon, no one really ever takes mobile seriously, but you do realize mobile gaming is far bigger than Nintendo ever will be. You do understand that, right? Because there are more people that have a cell phone compared to a video game system. I guarantee you, you could add up every single video game system. Even, now not every computer, but I bet you could add up like every type of PC that is able to play decently video games. And I still guarantee you there are more cell phones out there than all those combined, Harmon. I got no proof behind it, but I'm going to make an educated guess.
And that Nintendo will continue to dominate this industry for decades to come.
Well, if you want to get technical, since you brought mobile into it, even though I don't take mobile gaming seriously and I don't really play mobile games, mobile gaming, I guess, is the one that's dominating if we're really going to get down to it. And I'm pretty certain that there are more PC gamers out there than there are Nintendo gamers, Harmon. Okay, I don't know about that one, DBZ Nation. The PS3, nah, I think the Switch 2, I don't think that Cyberpunk could run on the PS3, my guy. I think the PS3 would explode if it tried to run Cyberpunk 2077.
So do you want
Okay, so for the next video, we got Princess Force. Let's see what he has to say.
the good news or the bad news first? Like, where do we start here? People have been playing some
Give me the bad news already, because no one really cares about the good news.
major Switch 2 games at Gamescom. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, but like, I want to pump the brakes on the negativity that I know is starting to build and roll. There's this
Well, maybe if the Switch 2 can handle better games, guess what? There wouldn't be as much negativity. But of course you want to pump the brakes. You got no problem hyping shit up. You don't want to pump the brakes for hyping. Like what you did when it came to Woods. You know, I will give you credit. At least you called Woods out for what he did, even though I still loved Super Mario. That is not dyed hair. I promise you, that hair is permanently stained from Daddy Nintendo. That he did not willingly dye that hair.
snowball
Okay, I just finally saw that. Angry Vigilante, show how are you doing this, like back-to-back videos. Oh, so what I did was I recorded all the videos and everything on Filmora, and then I just clipped them how I wanted them in what order, and then I uploaded the video to my YouTube channel, but it's unlisted right now. And then after I'm done with this, I'm gonna delete the video anyways. I also found out Princess Force has TDS. Can you please tell me what TDS is? It may not be the PS3, but God, Switch 2 games look so low fidelity. You think they are PS3? I mean, some of them, yes. I do think Mario Kart World does look a little bit better than a PS3, maybe a PS4, and same thing with DK Bonanza. But I will agree, some of them don't look as good. I know I am sticking the fork in the electrical outlet with Star Wars on Thursday. Is that when it comes out? Yes, you probably are if you bought Star Wars Outlaws, man. From what I've heard, that game is not very good. That's true. Besides, Genshin Impact games like those have been doing better than freaking Nintendo games recently. I've never played a Genshin Impact game. Daddy Doug Bowser gave him the Nintendo glazing from, yes, he did. I cannot read that last one because I don't think YouTube would like it. My expectations are to curse out the game or so well it is not as bad as they say. I don't see a middle ground. I mean, you never know. I may, you know what, if I have time, I may try it out and see if it's actually worth it or not. I'm not holding my breath. How come they don't take about the Take Us North game? How will it run on the Switch Pro? I don't even know what that game is, man.
all that, holy crap, Elden Ring runs horribly on Switch 2. And while that is true, I don't think it'll always be true. Let me dive.
My guy, why are you damage controlling for this? You should be calling out From Software. Technically, yes, this is an optimization problem, but there are so many games that are playing horribly already on the Switch 2. It shows that the optimizing is very difficult for the Switch 2. You need to understand this. That's why a lot of third parties are going to release these games in terrible states because they don't think it's going to be worth it enough to sit here and make their money back.
Dive in for you. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switch Force. Let me know in the comments down below if you're worried about the news that Elden Ring runs horribly to the point that Bandai Namco won't
Oh, trust me, we heard all about that before you released this video.
let anybody record gameplay at Gamescom. We have a lot of reports that say,
I mean, no shit, they wouldn't let you. It makes sense. They brought terrible looking games. Of course, they don't want you to record the shit.
yeah, frame rate, it's terrible. But look, we also have good reports as well. So I'm going to actually start there. I think that's a
Of course you would gloss over it. Why wouldn't you sit here and talk about the Elden Ring part? Of course you want to gloss over it. Let's hear the good news. Let's hear it.
good point of reference. Hollow Knight Silksong is getting 120 frames per second on Switch 2. Freaking great. And I know, like, it is a side.
I mean, does it really matter if it's 120? I don't know about anybody here. I can't tell the difference between 60 and 120. Can anybody tell the difference?
Scrolling roguelite. Okay, but that is good news. And people say Kirby Air Riders looks really good if you're into that. And Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is running super well. I've seen gameplay of it. A lot of people have posted their gameplay, and they say,
Congratulations. That's like one of how many that run well?
hey, like, that game looks good. runs good and as it should. Now, there's like going to be always variation. It's going to be based on when these companies got dev kits, how great.
Well, we all know that Square Enix and Nintendo have a very good relationship. If we're being honest, they were probably given a dev kit probably almost day one as soon as Nintendo had a dev kit.
They are at porting their games, how difficult the original code in the game is to make work on the Switch 2. Do they care about investing the time? Do they have the talent to make it work?
Vigilante, if games run badly on the Switch 2, do you blame the developer for making a half-ass port, or do you blame Nintendo for underpowered hardware? I think I will say it's probably a case-by-case basis, like for Silksong, even though I doubt it, but if Silksong ran difficult, that would definitely be a developer problem, okay? But we all saw how Grand Theft Auto 6 runs, for instance. If they were done with Grand Theft Auto, or we didn't see how well it ran, but we saw the trailer. We saw how demanding that game is going to be. We're all going to be. There's already rumors that the PS5 isn't going to be able to run that game that well. Only the PS5 Pro is going to be able, and the PC can run that game very well. So if a PS5 can't run the game well, then we all know that the Switch 2 is not going to be able to run that game very well. So if they were to port that game to the Switch 2 and it ran like crap, in that case, it would be the Switch 2.
We saw this with Switch 1. Like, there were so many games where it seems like it should be running better, and it isn't. And then there'd be games where it seems like it should be running worse, and it isn't. I remember, like, The Witcher 3 having this huge open world, ran pretty darn good, and then there were games far smaller that ran like crap. It just didn't make sense. So,
well, if we're being honest, CD Projekt Red's games are amazing, and they know they're going to make their money back. So they took the time to optimize it for the Switch 1. The other ones, like, well, if we look at Hogwarts Legacy, there's no way that the Switch 1 could have handled that game. There's no way it was going to play well. And you also got to realize, I'm pretty positive that The Witcher 3 came out on the PS3. I could be wrong, but I am pretty positive that it was out on the PS3. So that would probably explain that also.
we got to this point where it's like, okay, different studios magically were great at porting, Panic Button being one of them. You might remember they were like wizards with the Switch 1, and then others just couldn't quite get it over the hump. Like, they couldn't quite get it there. And there's a lot of reasons and a lot of just different excuses per se for why a game doesn't run well on a specific platform. And one of the reasons for Switch 1 was it was underpowered. Now, the Switch 2 is more powerful, but let's be honest here, okay? The Switch 2 is still underpowered in comparison to other consoles, but
yes, like the PS5, like the PC, like the Xbox. Now we're all, remember when you guys were all running around saying, oh, it's close to an Xbox Series S. Come to find out, it's more closer to the PS4 Pro. And in some cases, it don't even run as good as the PS4 Pro.
just because their consoles have more power doesn't mean that their games run perfectly, okay? Elden Ring is a great example of a game that does not run perfectly on pretty much any platform, any console, okay? It definitely does not run perfect on PS4. You're getting 30 frames dropping down below that at times. It definitely does not run, like this smooth, gorgeous 60 on PS5 either. From Software games seem to struggle with performance.
Okay, but they fixed Elden Ring. They fixed it for everywhere else. It runs good now from what everyone is saying. I never played the game, but I'll take their word on it. They sat here, ported it over with the patch to make it to where it ran good and still can't run good on the Switch 2. That's saying something.
Kind of at different levels across the board. So it's not really surprising to me to hear that Elden Ring runs like crap on Switch 2. Now, this was handheld mode.
I agree with you, Ren. That's why I said it depends on the game. If Silksong comes out and runs like crap, that's going to be the developer's fault because the game don't look very demanding.
To where the reports are coming from, and they're saying that the graphics themselves look good. Like, the game looked good, but it didn't play good. Now, those are obviously kind of not where you want it to be. I'd rather a game looks poorly and plays great, especially a game like Elden Ring that's all about the gameplay. And frankly, I'd rather
Zach from Switch Force, can I call you Zach this once? Listen, we all know that if the game runs poorly, let's say Borderlands 4, for instance, unless you get a free copy, I'm pretty positive you're going to go buy it for a different system. I am pretty positive you don't just have a Switch 2. If we're being honest, you're not going, like, we're getting rumors now that Borderlands 4 does not play very well on the Switch 2. So we know you're probably going to sit here and go play it somewhere else so it's more enjoyable.
It just do everything great. And I think that's what we should kind of expect.
Oh, you know Super Mario Bros. 35. You know he's joining that one. And the J-Bigs, give me ports that were as good as Doom Eternal was on the Switch 1, then I would be fine with that on Switch 2. There you go. See, there were some good ports.
The Switch 2 is not a $450 system for you to get games that kind of like, well, we don't care. It's okay if it's half there. It's just on Switch. Like, that's a thing of the past. It just being on Switch ain't gonna cut it anymore. I really don't think so. And
I agree. Finally, you're actually making some sense. Do you think he might be graduating from fanboy to fan? Let's find out.
I heard some people say, like, wow, it's amazing to play Elden Ring portably on the Switch 2. So even if well, I don't think that. I think you can play Elden Ring portably on your ROG Ally. I think you can play Elden Ring portably on your Steam Deck. And I don't think that just because you can shove it on the Switch 2, it running poorly is acceptable or okay.
Of course it's not acceptable. Of course it's not okay. Thank God one of you guys could actually sit here and say it. Why can't any of the rest of the damn community actually say it?
People said the fog really made it drop. People said even the early areas, gameplay was dropping down into the teens, that the frame rate was just not stable. It felt very sluggish and slow. That seems pretty damning, and like, what the heck are they doing? And maybe that helps explain why there is no set release date. They did say 2025, but it's now August 20.
It is ridiculous that we have no set release date for those games. How can you be okay with that, Switchforce? When Batman Arkham Trilogy went to the Switch, Asylum and City are not that bad on the Switch. Night, on the other hand, oh, I heard that it ran terribly. That was ridiculous. But probably the reason why that Asylum and City were okay on the Switch is probably because the Switch is like PS3 comparable in hardware.
20th, and we still don't know when this game is releasing. But I have like kind of hopefully the thing that, you know, you can drink this down and just say, okay, it's going to be fine. I heard this very interestingly from Nintendo Life. All right, they were saying that they played Cyberpunk 2077 early on Switch 2, and it similarly ran quite poorly. They said it similarly really seemed like it was in a super...
Yes, but did the person that you're claiming that played it, I don't think it was a demo that was made out to the public to play. You understand, a demo is to get somebody excited for it. So why, like, that's the one thing I do not understand what From Software was thinking. If you want to get people excited for your game, why would you release a demo to the public to play at an event that runs like garbage? That makes absolutely no damn sense.
Rough spot. And then voila, Cyberpunk 2077 comes out, and it's known as like one of the most impressive Switch 2 third-party ports, that it runs so well and is able to take this big open world and make it happen on Switch 2. Is it perfect? No. Is it as good as like your PC or PS5? No. Is it totally fine where people aren't going to be...
Of course not. You do understand most of the games are not going to look as good on the Switch as they look at on the PS5 or the PC. We all know this. Will you get on with it already?
Complaining though, and is it totally playable? It's beyond that. Yes, it's a great experience. That gives me extreme hope that whatever is being shown here is not going to be the final version of Elden Ring Tarnished Edition on Switch. Okay, a couple of things. One, when a company makes a demo, they have to make that months in advance. They can't just, on the last day before games come.
You do realize a demo, to make it look good, it is a very small part of the game. It's very easy to polish up a demo here, for crying out loud.
Say, oop, press the button, we're ready to go. Like, this is the version. Hit the escape key and it's going to transport to Gamescom, and there's our demo. No, like, this is a months old build that they're working on. And remember, we got this Switch 2.
Switchforce, you're missing the point of the demo. The demo is to get people excited for a game. That is the point of a fucking demo.
Scenario where dev kits, how early did they get them, right? From Software already seems to struggle with performance on established platforms. So that...
The game runs good. Yes, at launch, from what everybody was saying, the game ran poorly. Of course it did. I'm not justifying it. It shouldn't. I'm the get it right the first time type of person. At launch, that game should be working perfectly fine. It should not be a launch in a crappy state. But they chose to launch it in a crappy state, but it's been fixed. You do understand that it runs amazingly. Why can the Switch 2 not run it that well?
All comes together to make it kind of expected, in my opinion, that this version right now could be in a really bad spot. But let's say that this version was developed in June, okay? And let's say the game is actually going to get a late November or early December release. That gives them 6 months to tighten this up, and I fully expect 100% that this game is in a good spot when it comes out. If it's not, that's a major problem.
And you actually might hold them accountable. We know you won't hold Nintendo accountable, but you actually might hold them accountable.
And that's very strange because From and Nintendo seem pretty close. They're making the Dusk Bloods exclusively for Switch 2. But there's no world in my mind that this terribly running version comes out full retail and it still runs this terribly. Like, that's not something that I think is going to happen at all. And it makes me more confident because Bandai Namco didn't want anyone recording. Typically, when
Of course they don't want anybody recording. Why would they want you to record something that looks like crap?
companies don't want anyone recording, it's because the game is in such a state that they're aware, like, this looks bad. And they wanted people to play it, and maybe that was a decision on Nintendo's part, maybe that was a decision on Bandai Namco's part, maybe
No, that wasn't a decision on Nintendo's part. That was a decision on Bandai Namco's part. But the thing is, if it was so poor, why did you reveal it? Why did you allow people to play? You could have lied and sat here and said, oh, there's something going on with our equipment. We can't let people play it at this time. They could have made up reasons instead of doing it.
that was not what From wanted, not what the team thought was best, but, like,
Oh, he already got them. He already got his knee pads, Super Mario.
you have deadlines, you have agreements, you have arrangements and contracts, and you got to get it done. I think that they're not allowing recording, not letting you show gameplay because they know this is not indicative of the final product. And as somebody that's been to many shows like this, I've been to Gamescom once, been to lots of E3.
Okay, everybody that keeps downplaying the demo, am I wrong? I remember when I was a kid, demos were meant to give you a little taste of the game. It was meant to get you excited for the game. Why would you not polish up a freaking demo before you let people play it? That's just completely asinine to me.
E3s, PAXs, things of that sort. I've played game demos early at developers, at publishers, at Nintendo. They're never in the greatest state when you're playing it early, and especially on a new platform. Like, you think they should be able to just transfer this over nice and easy, but maybe that's not the case. Did From have a game on Switch 1? They didn't. So maybe this is their first attempt, and maybe it's taking them some time. Maybe it's going rough. But I think the best thing is that note that Cyberpunk 2077, a few months before launch, was in a really rough spot. People played it and were like,
I do not recall there being a demo where people were sitting here saying, oh, this game runs like terrible here.
dude, this runs crappy. It looks good. The graphics look good. The performance is not there. It's not where we need it to be. This is not something.
When Nintendo was showcasing their Switch 2, I remember people sitting there saying that the demo for Cyberpunk looked amazing. So I have no idea what you're actually talking about.
We could recommend, and then, oh, voila, it's something that we can recommend. It runs really great, and it's a fun time. I have the cartridge sitting right here on my desk. You might have it as well. So Final Fantasy VII Remake.
No, because I don't double dip. I already have it on Steam. There's no reason for me to buy it for the Switch 2.
Integrated, running really good, is good news. I think most games are going to be in that position, and some won't. Now, the dark side of this coin is these games are old games, and they're struggling, right? Elden Ring is a 2022 title.
Oh, you hit it right there, the nail on the head right there. Yes, the games are so old that it's already showing that the system has cracks. So how are we going to expect the system to sit here and run well for the newer games? For like a bunch of you somehow think that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be playable on the Switch 2. That game, if they are able to, I think that game is going to come out broken.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is a 2020 title, and you're telling me that Elden Ring is struggle busting on Nintendo Switch 2? Yeah, that does give me some pause. Now, I do think developers will unlock.
Well, if we're being honest here, Elden Ring is an open world. Generally, open world games are more demanding on a system compared to like Final Fantasy VII. The remake of Final Fantasy VII is not an open world. Now, I'm wondering if Rebirth's going to be able to run well.
more and more of the Switch 2 as time goes on. I do think that they will figure this out as we go forward, and perhaps that explains why some of the bigger games that you'd expect to be on the Switch 2 right away, like Monster Hunter Wilds, why didn't Capcom put it there? Maybe this is part of the reason.
Well, probably because I don't think the Switch 2 can handle Monster Hunter Wilds. Have you not played that game? That game is not running very well on the PC right now. You actually think the Switch 2 is going to be able to play it well? And give me a break.
Maybe a 2025 game.
But it's a very good walking simulator, Ren. Final Fantasy VII Remake was amazing.
Is going to have trouble. But at the same time, there's a game like Chronos The New Dawn from Bloober Team.
Yeah, me too, J-Biggs. I remember when it came to Nintendo Prime's podcast, they were all the people that got to go to that event, they were gushing over how well that demo looked. So I have no idea what he's talking about either.
Survival horror Dead Space game that I'm excited for. That's out in 2 weeks, and that is a 2025 game, and they seem to think it's totally fine on Switch 2. I think a lot of this is going to deal with...
Really, Switch Force? You do remember NetherRealm thought that Mortal Kombat 1 was totally fine for the Switch. You do remember that. You do remember them using fake footage from the PS5 version, don't you?
What your port studio, what your developer, what their experience is, what their experience is with Nintendo, what their experience is with different varying settings. And if you're able to make your game run on a bunch of settings on PC, then you're primed to have it run on a bunch of settings on, PS5, Xbox Series S, and Switch 2, up and down the list. So I think there's going to be variety there, and I think as time progresses,
Well, that's what you get for thinking. No one pays you to think.
ports will get better, and the studios will figure out more, and there will be publishers and studios that lag behind, and there will be publishers and studios that vault ahead. And I know that there's games coming out that are modern games for Switch 2. There's AAA third-party titles that are coming that you're going to be like, holy crap, didn't think that would be on Switch if Elden Ring's having a problem. So
It doesn't mean they're not going to have a problem. I'm pretty certain you weren't able to play them beforehand.
I don't think that this is something to really worry about. Like, is it something to pay attention to?
Of course it's something to worry about. If it can't handle a game from like 3 years ago or I forgot. Wait, it came out in 2019, didn't it? So that's like 6 years old, I think you just said. So of course that's something to worry about.
Yes. Like, why can't Elden Ring run great? But if it comes out and it does run great, then this is all kind of, spilled potatoes or whatever the saying is. That's not it. But whatever the saying is, it's...
I've never heard of spilled potato. That is two things I've heard from you in this video. You talking about people saying that Cyberpunk ran terribly. Now you're saying spilled potato. I have never heard. I think you're talking about spilled milk or something.
It's a nothing burger. It's, hey, an early demo of Elden Ring didn't
No, the only nothing burger is going to be the Switch 2.
run great, but they eventually got it running pretty darn good. And like I said,
I'm joking. I think the Switch 2 is probably going to be successful as long as Nintendo actually releases some good games.
based on games that are coming, based on games that are going to be announced, it's like, I don't personally feel like there is a long-term problem at all. Is there a first couple
For a third party, there's going to be a problem.
of months problem? Maybe. And maybe that explains why we haven't seen the deluge of third-party announcements and why it's kind of just starting now, right? We got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle this week. That's a good thing. We don't have a date for Elden Ring. Maybe that's because of some of the development struggles they might be having. We don't have a date either for Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I expect...
Yeah, see, that game supposedly is running amazing. Why is there no release date for that game yet? Why is Nintendo not allowing them to release the dates?
that to be coming, like I said, from Nintendo and not from a random event like this because of the partnership they seem to have. And it's going to be waves, right? It's going to be waves. It's going to be different levels.
Oh, you can tell. Just look at how he keeps pausing. He's having such a hard time trying to damage control for Nintendo right now. Switch Force, you even know this is bullshit.
It's going to be a spectrum of how these games run and perform on Switch 2. And while it's no fun to hear that it runs like crap, I don't think you should hit the panic button. I mean, maybe eventually they'll hit the panic button and bring panic button on to help them out, because that was the studio that just killed it on Switch 1. But no, I think this is going to be okay. Take great solace.
Well, that's what you get for thinking. Switch Force, you're not a thinker. Do what you're good at.
Knowing that Cyberpunk ran like crap a few months before it came out as well, because it was an old build and because they needed that time, the final polish months, to really put the pieces together. And take solace knowing that there's games coming out, you're going to be like, dude, that's coming to Switch 2? Okay, and you can already see we got Borderlands 4, we got Chronos The New Dawn. It's not just older games. They're confident that they
But there's not enough. It's not what we were when they sat here, released that direct, showed us all what is supposed to be coming to the Switch too. A lot of those third parties have not come yet.
can get games like Borderlands 4, Chronos The New Dawn, right? They're confident
Exactly. Where's Forza Horizon?
they can get those games running on Switch 2, or they already have them running on Switch 2. So I think
Oh, yes, he does, Super Mario. He does pay lip service.
it's a whole lot of controversy for a whole lot of it's going to be totally fine. It's notable, it's weird, it's slightly worrisome, especially because we're kind of still in this period where it's like, what's going on with Switch 2? Are there games? Are there dates? What's happening? And so this isn't really the best time to hear like something runs terribly.
Of course it's not. Just wait till the third party pulls out again. It's going to happen if this keeps going on.
It's going to be okay. I feel very good about it, and I think you should as well. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Are you worried about Switch 2? Do you feel like this will resolve itself? Is Elden Ring going to be fine once it gets to the finish line? And when's that game coming out? I'm going to guess late in the year based on this. But what's your take? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love y'all lots. Switch Force out.
Okay, I am so glad Princess Force is done. Up next, we got another Harmon Smith one. Well, let's read some of them. She's the Princess Nintendo World Champion of the Nintendo Bathhouse Gang. I don't know, he might be in the running with Harmon Smith there on that one.
So we got a hype new announcement today. Kirby Air Riders is finally getting shown off tomorrow in a 45-minute long Nintendo Direct. Now, actual Nintendo fans are super stoked about this. You know, I'm excited about it. Like, Air Riders is like the big wild card when it comes to
I'm pretty certain you were talking crap about it before. Just saying there, Harmon. But it don't take much to get you excited when it comes to Nintendo. They could release a Princess Peach Showtime 2 and you would get ecstatic.
Nintendo Switch 2 right now. It could be great. It could be not so great, but we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, that's me being reasonable.
Harmon, there is nothing reasonable about your videos. Who are you trying to fool?
There are people not being reasonable. Specifically, Metroid fans. Metroid fans, once again...
Well, more people are excited for Metroid over being excited for Kirby Air Riders. The only reason why there is so much hype now for Kirby Air Riders is because of Sakurai. They are banking on that man's name.
Coming out, moaning, whining, complaining about games that aren't Metroid getting any kind of attention or coverage. Like, oh, how dare they talk about Kirby instead of Metroid? Like, are development resources going away from Metroid to Kirby? You know, they're wasting our time. You know, like, there's
Metroid fans are always like that, Harmon. You've been a Nintendo fan for how long and you didn't even know that?
been a lot of people in the community coming out and saying this. Like, and the first thing that came to mind when I saw this happen was that it reminds me a lot of what happened when Tropical Freeze came out. When, you know, the big reason that game was downplayed among the online gaming community.
I still don't understand why Tropical Freeze was so hated. I actually liked the game. I never knew that game was so hated until he said it. I don't care about Kirby. I want Metro Prime 4 and I want 2 and 3 on Switch ASAP. Oh, so do I. I have actually never played a Metro game, so Metro Prime 4 will be my first one. And Elden Ring for Nintendo Switch 2 should run amazing on the Nintendo Switch 2, but let's be honest, it's not. And why on a console that's $500? Oh, it's ridiculous. I will give you that.
Was this idea that Retro was wasting their time making a Donkey Kong game, a 2D Donkey Kong game at that, instead of working on a big, new AAA Metroid game targeted towards mature audiences.
Well, if I had to pick and choose, I think I would rather have Metroid over Donkey Kong. I do like Donkey Kong, but I do prefer more Metroid style games than Donkey Kong. But I'm actually surprised that you actually like Tropical Freeze. If it was made by Retro, you hate Western developers. That's why you hate Metro Prime so damn much.
Like, it's very easy to forget this now, but the Retro era Donkey Kong Country games were wildly hated and disregarded among certain people because of the Metroid fan base. You know, it was a thing.
Were they? I've never heard of any of the Donkey Kong's games being hated outside of Donkey Kong 64. That's the only one I've ever heard. Harmon, what the hell are you talking about?
Thing for them to relentlessly like hate these games and talk down to them constantly, and that's been a reoccurring problem for the past several years. It is a stereotype for Metroid fans to hate like every single other Nintendo.
I just finished the new Super Mario Bros. U. I thought it was a good game, but it's a shame that it's still $60 at full price right now. That's a shame on Nintendo.
IP, whether it's Splatoon or Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, whatever. You know, Metroid has this reputation of being the most hardcore Nintendo IP, and as a result, this tends to be the one that PlayStation and Xbox fans tend to be comfortable saying that they're fans of.
Because yes, Metroid looks amazing, Harmon. Okay, is that why that you do not want to sit here and play this game? Are you not excited because PlayStation is actually excited for a Nintendo game for once and you have to not like it?
So, what has happened here is actually pretty consistent with what we've seen in the past. You know, these people have been spurging out about Metroid not getting enough support since the N64 era. Okay, like this has like been a common reoccurring thing with the.
I'm pretty certain you mean the GameCube, because I'm pretty certain that the Metroid games came out on the GameCube, Harmon.
These people is like they obsessively worship Metroid but downplay other Nintendo games. What has
Oh, that was ridiculous. $60 for Donkey Kong Country Returns, and it's not didn't even come with any upgrades. It was really the same game.
changed though? Like what makes the situation so different is that these people came out, made these statements, tried really hard to downplay like Kirby, and immediately found themselves being clowned on. You know, everybody made fun of them for it because, you know, this is a completely different dev team from a different, completely different.
Okay, I lost track of what he just said. Who are they making fun of, Harmon? I swear, you make up these things in your damn head. That's what I thought. Metroid to J-Biggs. Yeah, that's what I thought. There was no Metroid on N64. And to Power Mad, he's upset that Princess Peach isn't getting a second game yet. Oh, you know, if they ever do release a second game, you know damn well he will be talking about it for years to come.
Franchise from a game that a lot of people are looking forward to. You know, like people tried to create this controversy over Metroid Prime 4, you know, not getting enough coverage, not having a release date, like all these things.
Yes, it's ridiculous. That was one of the games that they showcased for the Switch 2, Harmon. Many people want to know the release date of that. They also want to know for the new Hyrule Warriors game, the Age of Calamity, or is it, what you know which one I'm talking about, the new one that's coming out. We want to know the release date for that one, Harmon. We want to know the release dates for a lot of the third-party games. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because he is talking way too slow and it's driving me crazy. So if it's sped up a little too fast, let me know, okay? I'm only doing 1.25.
About it, you know, they tried saying that like Kirby Air Riders didn't deserve that much attention, and
well, Kirby Air Riders wasn't the one giving the attention. It was Sakurai, for being honest.
a lot of people in the community actually rose up and like called them out on their nonsense this time. And I think this is a really good indication of where the culture is actually going, because we're seeing this more and more often where like the traditional methods of downplaying like major new Nintendo games aren't working. You know, we saw this with Dragon Drive and Mario Kart World to a certain extent. But
Harmon, Dragon Drive is an embarrassment. That doesn't even scream Nintendo's magic. That game looks terrible. And I won't even buy the game. The game doesn't even look fun, Harmon. How can you defend crap like that? Okay, to Joshua, been here for a while. Just want to say what's up, everybody. I like Nintendo. So do I, man. But we must be aware of this shitty practice. Yes, we do. We need to make people aware of this. Then Princess Peach Showtime was an embarrassment. You know what? I have no want to play that game, so I will agree with you. And then To Ghost Peppers, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is not widely hated, but rather it is generally considered a high-quality 2D platform by critics and players, especially after its Switch release. That's what I thought. I never heard anybody say that the game was hated until he started talking. To Jay Briggs, Nintendo marketed Metroid Prime Remastered wrong. I like the Shadow Drop, but they did not follow up well. No, they did not. Yes, Drag X Drive is garbage, Jay Biggs. I completely agree with you. And then Kirby Air to Power Mag, Kirby Air Riders looks like a GameCube game with a flat graphics, and it's not worth 70. It doesn't look like it's really worth 70. I'm going to rent it and let you guys know, but I don't think it's going to be worth 70. But you never know. I could be surprised. Donkey Kong Country Returns to Tropical Freeze are better than Bonanza. I don't know. DK Bonanza was really good. That's a hard one. I never played Country Returns, so I can't say if it is or not.
But I think this is a more blatant, extreme example of it, where Metroid fans, which are traditionally have been one of the most toxic Nintendo fan bases out there, when these guys don't...
Harmon, you have no room to talk about anybody being toxic. You are literally the most toxic person in any gaming community out there. Whenever people say, oh, the reason why you're getting views is because negativity sells, I always reference him. If that was the case, why isn't Harmon Smith getting the views then?
Have the complete absolute control over the narrative that they did like 10 to 15 years ago. Like you really start to realize like just how much the audience has changed. You know, people don't necessarily put Metroid on a pedestal anymore. You know, people are more comfortable like, you know, enjoying things like Kirby, Pokemon, Zelda.
Pokemon, yes. I don't hear too many people talking about Kirby there, Harmon.
You know, whatever else is coming out, you know, Splatoon, right? Like the idea that Metroid is this like untouchable, like pedigree, you know, Nintendo's best IP is
Nobody is treating it like it's untouchable, Harmon. What the hell are you talking about? People are just excited for something different. You know, unlike you, we don't want the same games time after time after time. We do like a little bit of difference. How do you think we got Xenoblade Chronicles? If Nintendo would have stuck with their formula, we would have never gotten that game. Or Bayonetta, we would have never gotten that game either.
It's more and more kind of considered a obsolete worldview. Like in part because, you know, the games don't come out all that often, but also I think is that more and more people are beginning to realize that like Metroid just isn't that popular of an IP. You know, these guys...
It's more popular than Princess Peach Showtime, Harmon, and Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Are and always have been this extreme vocal minority who just worship Metroid and don't really give anything else a shot. And, you know, more and more Nintendo fans are...
Harmon, there are not that many Metroid games out there. I am pretty damn positive that Metroid people are playing other games than that. They just want Metroid. We waited how long for a new Metroid game, Harmon? Nobody was asking for a Kirby Air Riders.
Are becoming like disenchanted with this mindset. You know, I've been talking about this ever since like the 25th anniversary of Metroid, where a lot...
Harmon, you say a lot of shit. Doesn't mean we pay attention.
A lot of people came out and tried to say that like...
Oh, such agree with you, Power Mad. Xenoblade is probably my favorite Nintendo IP. I love Xenoblade. I can never talk enough about that.
Nintendo was disrespecting the IP, and that they gave way more attention to Mario and Zelda because, you know, those were flagship franchises and Metroid is not. Like, I do think that's like...
Well, I mean, that one I actually have to agree with you. Mario and Zelda, they're going to get more attention. They do sell more.
A major thing that's changing is that, like, Metroid's no longer seen as, like, Nintendo's biggest property. You know, I think Fire
Metroid was never seen as that big of a property. What the hell are you talking about?
Emblem has eclipsed it. I think, you know, Pokemon's eclipsed it. Splatoon's eclipsed it. Animal Crossing's eclipsed it. Like, I think Pikmin is bigger than it is now. You know, like, the simple...
Harmon, do not disrespect Metroid like that. Pikmin? I have no interest in playing Pikmin. If anybody's played Pikmin, is it a fun game or not?
Fact of the matter is, like, these are niche games made for a niche audience. So this idea that, like, these games need to constantly get new releases, that they need to, like, constantly talk about them, that they need to, like, worship this IP and treat it like it's one of their biggest... that mindset...
Oh, Miss Cody Lee's afraid of a lot of stuff. I think he's afraid of women. Xenoblade 2 is still my favorite Switch game. Oh, I like Golden Torna more than Xenoblade 2. And then someone talked about Samus is hot as hell. Yeah, okay, maybe. I love Metroid as well. You know what? It looks fun and I am excited. I even have a zero. There you go. Drag X Drive has too little depth and could have benefited from more development time to include additional modes, cosmetics, variety, or more robust single player experience. I mean, they should have just gave up on the whole motion control crap with the damn Joy-Cons. That was a big fail that they did right there. No one was screaming for that crap.
Is completely out of touch with like what people actually think, especially when these people come out and like try and talk down to other Nintendo properties. And this is not an isolated incident. You know, that's my big thing about.
My guy, no one was really talking down, but more people were excited for Metroid than Kirby. The only reason why that they're pushing Kirby Air Riders this hard is because of Sakurai. They were not pushing Kirby in the Forgotten Land that damn hard before. Are you kidding me?
This is that like this is very much in character for Metroid babies to pull. Like this is something they do all the time, is just complain about other Nintendo properties and how they allegedly keep Metroid from getting produced. You know,
That's how you are whenever it comes to the Game Awards. You always complain nonstop that Nintendo doesn't get enough awards because guess what? They didn't deserve them, unfortunately. You need to understand that they're probably not going to win this year.
like again, we've seen like lots of examples of this over the years, but I do think that like this specific instance of it kind of marks a attitude shift in the community where this kind of narrative is getting rejected wholesale before it can even really get off the ground. You know, like 10 years ago, 11 years, during the VGX, you know, remember when like people would obsess over like Reggie wearing a Metroid pin and how that proved that there was going to be a new Metroid announcement? Like,
Harmon, I swear, you remember the most dumbest shit that I've ever heard.
like remember back then and how ridiculous and insane that was. Like I don't think those days. I think those days are over. You know, like I don't think they're coming back. I don't think people are just going to be this desperate for a new Metroid game ever again, because the reality is there are just so many other games to play that like I hardly even notice that.
Well, because Harmon, you don't like to play anything that has a challenge. I'm surprised you're even going to play Silk Song.
We haven't gotten a new Metroid since Dread. Like in fact.
To J Biggs, Metroid should have been Nintendo's Trinity, Super Mario, Zelda, and Metro. Honestly, I don't know. I think Xenoblade might be thrown in there.
In fact, I'm still playing Dread. I'm still talking about it. It's one of my absolute favorite Switch games. And the simple fact of the matter is, the game is so good, I can pop it in and play it whenever. And I do think people
Oh, he's far beyond a fanboy here.
need to understand that like you don't necessarily need new games in your favorite franchise near constantly. And I hope that someday Metroid fans learn.
Yes, you do. If you don't produce new games, Harmon, then the formula grows stale. When they do, if they just make the games that you want, Nintendo will go down. It's gonna get stale. They need to make new IPs, give us different variety. Stop giving us always the same damn thing.
To accept that.
One of the most interesting.
Okay. Well, that's it for Harmon Smith. So for our next video, I believe I got two more for you guys, but our next one is Player Essence. So we're going to get into his damn video. But Michael Griffin, are you a content creator? Griffin sounds like a name. I was shocked Drag X Drive was $20 for how it's being received. Sounds like it should have been lower in price. Michael Griffin, that game could have been a free packing game and it still would have been a terrible game. That no amount of money, it don't matter if they sold it for $1 or they paid us to play that damn game. That game would have still sucked regardless. Is he working for Nintendo? I don't know. If he's working for Nintendo, Nintendo's not doing a good job picking people to hire from. I'm surprised that Nintendo even allows him to even go on the internet at times.
Interesting things about the Nintendo Switch 2 is that even though the system's been out for barely 3 months coming up here, it feels like it's been out for maybe a bit longer when it comes to how some people talk about the system over the internet, predicting that it's already going to be a super huge failure or it's going to be.
No, you're just reading into it too much. Oh, we got Blast in the chat. How's it going, Blast? I haven't heard from you in forever. Drag X Drive is terrible. God, oh, you know what? I am. If you bought it, more power to you. I refuse to buy it. I was actually going to until I saw the gameplay for the damn beta, and I was like, oh, hell no. And to Randolph, Harmon Smith hates Sonic except adventure games, from what I can tell. I never even played the adventure games. To Raymond, in my opinion, I really like the idea of what Drag X Drive was going for, but the issue is that the idea was not executed very well. That is very true. Randolph. Harmon Smith complains about Sonic. He complains about everything. That's nothing new. To Chaos Roselle. Hell, I want a new Legacy of Kain game to finish up the story. You know, I remember I played one on the PS2 and I remember it was fun. And I will agree. Give us more of the Legacy of Kain.
Be a massive success past the Nintendo Switch, which all of that obviously doesn't matter at this point. A system is defined by its games over the course of time, and what the company does to invigorate the base when it comes to the system itself and everything.
Very true, Player Essence. And guess what? Nintendo is doing a terrible fucking job at releasing their games. They have, let's break it down for all the Switch 2 games so far, if I remember correctly. You got Mario Party Jamboree at $80 with that add-on thing. That's, from what everyone's saying, is terrible. $80 is overpriced. You got $80 Mario Kart World, which is also overpriced. Oh, someone just subscribed. Let's see who it is.
Everything. That's how all systems.
Oh, too late. But I just got a new subscriber. Thank you to whoever subscribed. But, okay, so you got that $80 Mario Kart World overpriced. You got DK Bonanza at $70, which did not have enough quality content to justify a $70 price tag. You got the Breath of the Wild $70, which is overpriced. You got Tears of the Kingdom $80 edition, which is overpriced. You got Kirby in the Forgotten Land $80, which I already know is going to be overpriced before I even play it. To Joshua, I'm a big Pokemon fan, but I like criticizing Nintendo because obviously they can do better. Oh, that's facts. To Blast, we are doing fine, just very busy. School and work and frat stuff are fucking me for all sides. Oh, I bet, man. You know, get that school work done. You know, we're going to need a lawyer anyways. For JBiggs, at the Switch 2 revealed the parts with Drag X Drive and World Tour, I turned off my brain. Those tech demos should have never came out, but the Wii U Zelda tech demo should have been a real game. I don't remember the Wii U because I didn't play that, but I agree that both those tech demos should have been packed in. But even if they were packed in, Drag X Drive would not have been a good game regardless.
Are usually, if you have a lot of success, there is a lot of content that comes to the system that gamers find incredibly fun to play, and that's the biggest thing. The Nintendo Switch 2 is just getting started. It just started out.
The only reason why people are thinking and running out and buying this stuff is because you people keep sitting here overhyping the damn crap. You're not even being honest.
There are still so many more games to come to the platform, and it's not all great. Obviously, there's some things that we're going to talk about in this video that Nintendo can improve upon overall, but if
oh, he's just going to say improve upon. That means he's not going to really criticize it. Are you kidding me? To Beautiful Zexel, I have your video saved in my playlist. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. To Blast, out of the last 3 months, only 4 bespoke Switch 2 games have been launched. MK World, DK Bonanza, Welcome Tour, Drag X Drive. One of the games released, the majority are multi-platform. Very, very true. But you're forgetting Fast Fusion. I still stand by that game. Fast Fusion is phenomenal. Or games on the Switch 1. Very true. Breath is actually $90 because they did not include the old ad. Yep, very true. That is fucking ridiculous. They didn't include that crap.
If you're looking at it from the start here, I don't see how it's not exciting to really see what the future for the Nintendo Switch 2 is as a system that does.
Of course it's exciting. Every new console is exciting. You know, even the Dreamcast was exciting at launch. Are you kidding me? But the problem is Nintendo is not giving us the release dates. We have no idea when these games are coming out. We have no idea what's coming next. That's what you're not getting, Player Essence.
Things incredibly different from a lot of other platforms out there. So let's go ahead and start off with the performance of the system. And really, that doesn't matter. Yes, don't get me wrong. Having the fastest.
Oh, it mattered when you thought it was closer to an Xbox Series X? Oh, now all of a sudden, when games that are on the PS4 Pro are running better than the Switch 2, now it doesn't matter?
Selling system of all time is great. Nintendo supplied a.
Congratulations. Nobody really cares that it's the fastest selling system of all time.
Bunch of systems. So that's awesome to see that, having people go out there and still buy the system. Now you're seeing new people get into it. Clearly, if you play the games, there are lots of people on the online platform if you're trying to play multiplayer and stuff like that. So it's great to see all that, but things really don't get started until year 2, year 3, year 4.
Yes, but guess what? You also know, about release dates. With the PS5, we know what's upcoming. We got plenty of games coming on the PS5 or the PC. We know about that. There ain't that much coming out for the Switch 2. Unless it's coming out, if you want to include what's coming out on the Switch 1, sure.
That's when you start seeing some of the best games. That's when you start seeing really what the system can do. And listen, guys, I've been around for decades playing games. I've seen so many system launches, from the NES to the Super NES to the N64, N64 to the GameCube, and also the portable launches. I remember playing that back in the day. And if there's one thing that
Congratulations, you're a fossil. Get on with it already. No one really cares to know if you sat here and play games back on the old handhelds. No one really cares. We want to know about today. Get on with it already.
I've noticed that's the common thread throughout every single generation, even with Microsoft or even with Sony, is that the actual system and what you can expect doesn't really start till a bit later. Now, it gives you a taste at the beginning when it comes to what you can expect, the launch title.
Yes, and guess what? That taste so far has not been good. Okay, Nintendo's big first-party titles, you've had 2 so far, and both are overpriced. Yes, I will firmly admit, DK Bonanza is a fun game, but it just doesn't have enough quality content to justify a $70 price tag. And then let me read off some of the comments. Yep, I got it. You say, thank you so much for saving them in the playlist, man. And then a Michael Griffin. Let's not forget that they raised the pricing for the Switch 1 accessories and items. Yes, they did, which is freaking ridiculous. Fastest selling does not mean it's a good quality, worthwhile product. Exactly. There was a lot of hype for it. You had a lot of people running out and buying it that were huge fans. There were people that were worried about the tariffs, so they ran out and bought it. And you can't forget the scalpers. He sounds so picky. Oh, he is very picky. Who, me or him?
Titles, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or even having Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, you see what the potential is, but things really don't get going until year 2, year 3, year 4, and those are when some of the best games.
Okay, if you're going to go off of so far what's come out as the potential, we've already been given 2 games that are overpriced. You have the $80 Mario Kart World and the $70 Donkey Kong Bonanza, and a lot of people are going to be speculating that the Kirby Air Riders is going to be overpriced also. So you're sitting here saying, oh, it's giving you a taste. The taste isn't good, Player Essence, but you refuse to accept it because you want to hype up this piece of plastic because you built your channel around it. Team Cherry be the most profitable game developers this year. Oh, it probably will be.
Games start to drop on the platform overall. Now, the games that we have right now are great, but to varying different levels, they do cross over with the Nintendo Switch 1 a bit. Wait until we see what is happening with specifically Nintendo Switch 2 built games through in and throughout, which we've had a couple of those when it comes to Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, but once again, varying levels of involvement with Nintendo Switch 1, but the next big major 3D Zelda, the next big major 3D Mario game, which I think is going to.
Yes, a lot of people are excited for those. So am I. But let's get through the games that were already shown what we were supposed to get through. Let's get those release dates out for Metro Prime 4. Let's get the release date out for Hyrule Warriors. Let's get the damn release dates out for all those third-party games that are supposed to come too. Yes, it will be nice to get a new Zelda. It will be nice to get a new Mario. But we also want to sit here and see the games that were already shown. Where are our release dates already?
Going to be coming or going to be announced pretty soon here at some point overall. The next major Pokemon game, Gen 10 Pokemon, is coming, and I'm telling you guys, it is going to be a behemoth when it comes to overall excitement and people looking forward to seeing it.
Of course, it's Pokemon. Anybody with an IQ of room temperature knows that that game is going to be very hyped. Even though I don't like what they're doing with Pokemon lately, I'm still excited for it because I love Pokemon.
Whether they're looking forward to bash the heck out of the game when it comes to the graphics or animations, or whether they're looking forward to play it and defend it, or whatever the case is, there's going to
I'm looking forward to both.
Be a lot of attention on that next gen Pokemon game, and regardless of how things go, I think it's going to bring a lot of people to the platform. Animal Crossing, there's been rumors and there's been talk about that as well. Animal Crossing has always been.
Okay, I know that a lot of people love Animal Crossing, but that is just not my type of game. I'm not excited for it. I'm definitely going to skip that. If anybody in the chat, if you like Animal Crossing, hey, no skin off my back. I got no problem with it. You guys could enjoy that game, but that game, it just isn't for me.
A big system hitter, even bigger system hitter than we've ever seen for Nintendo, specifically with the Nintendo Switch.
J Biggs, how can you hate Pokemon? I do love Pokemon, but I will sit here and gladly point out the flaws with Pokemon. I can't say I hate Animal Crossing. They're just not my type of games.
1 and Animal Crossing New Horizons. 40 million plus when it comes to that game. You bet the Animal Crossing team is gearing up and getting ready for their next masterpiece when it comes to that. So that's the reason why
They probably are, but you do understand, Player Essence, the likelihood is going to sell that ever again is very unlikely. You do need a pandemic to put a lot of people at home to play that type of game.
say we're just getting started. Like, that's great that Switch 1 so far has been pretty good overall. I think the games are solid for the first few months at this point, and third party, which we're going to talk about, has been good. But man, wait until year 2.
I think you mean the Switch 2. You just said the Switch 1. But yes, there were some great games. Guess what? They were reports. And then you're showing off Zelda, which is a damn Switch 1 game.
And year 3, when you actually get those big system selling type of games on top of Donkey Kong, on top.
I mean, did you get those with the Wii U? I mean, I don't remember them.
Of Mario Kart, on top of Pokemon Legends ZA, on top of all these games that are already helping to move the system. I think that the Nintendo Switch 1 showed consumers, showed fans a clear path of, hey, you get everything when it comes to what Nintendo's doing. It's not split between a 3D.
It's not showing us this now, Player Essence. They're not showing us what we're getting. There's no release dates. How are they showing us anything? For all we know, Metroid Prime could come out in 2027.
DS and a Wii U or a DS and a Wii or a GBA and a GameCube, you get everything overall. And what about the Super Smash Bros. Franchise? Over 35 million units sold at this point, one of the most consistent sellers and a massive system selling type of game. We're still going to get that on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Most likely, we better get a new Super Smash Brothers game. If Nintendo does not give us the new Super Smash Brothers game for the Switch 2, they have definitely lost it. They need to fire who's ever in charge.
Don't worry, Sakurai doing Kirby Air Ride, but he's finished that game. He's got Super Smash Bros. Up next, and that is going to be huge when it comes to what that does for the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's just a combination of different things, of the different massive franchises that have yet to hit the system in the type of form and way that's going to impact it. And that's why I said year 2, year 3, year 4, those are truly the years that you see what a system.
Congratulations. Let's get through year 1. So you're going to sit here and be like, yeah, year 1 was mediocre. That's fine. We can have a shitty year. Let's just go for year 2. You should still be holding them accountable what they're doing right now.
Is about and what it can do, not people making clickbait videos and all this type of stuff beforehand and trying to predict its downfall.
What are you talking about? That's what you're doing when you're sitting here hyping up this system. I've already said this earlier. I have no idea if the Switch 2 is actually selling well or if it's not selling well. I am using some educated guesses on what I'm seeing online, and you yourself, Player Essence, you don't even know if the system is selling well. The only person who knows is Nintendo, and they're not telling us this right now. So guess what? If we're making clickbaity titles, so are you.
That's silly. What really comes down to is the big games when it matters the most, and Nintendo, they're delivering, and I see that continuing with the Nintendo Switch 2. And I'm not even talking about the smaller off games that have those certain niche fan bases tied to them, like Fire Emblem and Xenoblade, for example. You know, the next installments of those from Intelligent Systems and
Oh, I cannot wait for a new Xenoblade game. That game better come out next year. I want it as soon as possible.
Monolith Soft, whether they're going to be new IPs with Monolith Soft or a brand new big Fire Emblem game, which blew up when it comes to a strategy RPG. There aren't many hardcore strategy RPGs that sell better than Fire Emblem, and Fire Emblem has been known to move a few more systems when it drops. There are specifically hardcore Fire Emblem fans.
You know, I have never played a Fire Emblem game. Does anybody actually recommend that game to play?
That buy a system just for that franchise overall. We saw that with the Nintendo 3DS, and we saw it with the Nintendo Switch 1 with Fire Emblem 3 Houses and how that boosted things up. So we haven't even gotten those yet at this point. So there's still quite a bit more games. So when people start talking about, oh, well, it's going to do this or it's going to do that, we all know that it's just a bunch of clickbait at this point, man. You really got to evaluate what's happening with the games and then go from there. That's what's the most important thing. No matter what anybody says online, it is going to be the games and how Nintendo applies them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are other things. You have
Of course, everybody knows when it comes down to it, it's about the software. But so far, they're not doing good, Player Essence. And you keep overhyping it. You're making it worse. You're letting down the community by overhyping them.
Pricing, you have obviously marketing, there's all sorts of stuff, but really the better the games you have, the easier the marketing is overall. So
what marketing? They haven't done any marketing. Their marketing has been piss poor this generation. We've been doing it all for them.
think that with the games that Nintendo does have that can move systems, the marketing and the message for the system is super clear at this point. So that's why I say you really shouldn't listen to like the grift Nintendo Switch 2 videos or content. A lot of that stuff is just AI generated anyway in terms of getting topics and getting views.
Sir, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but a bunch of us do not use AI generated. The only one that uses that around here is you. You use AI generated for that damn hairline of yours.
A lot of these guys, they don't even care about Nintendo Switch 2. They don't even care about the games and playing them. They're just looking to get views.
Yes, we do. Just because we're willing to criticize Nintendo doesn't mean that we don't sit here and care about them. And then the people who are not interested in Nintendo, let's just say for argument's sake, there are people that are making videos that hate Nintendo. Guess what? What they're saying, it doesn't negate it. What they're saying is still the truth. So it doesn't matter if they're doing it for views or not. You're doing this video right now for views. You hype up the system for views. You only care about views also. So don't act like you're any different than anybody else.
On YouTube where they're just looking to talk about something for attention. A lot of the people that actually have passion about this are playing the games,
Okay, you literally were not a news channel for the majority of your YouTube time. I went back and looked at your videos. You saw how well Prime was doing, saw how well Easy it was, and all you did was just copy him.
understanding them, are giving you guys detailed analysis and breakdown, not just trying to convince you why a certain company or two is evil and all that. And that goes for Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, every single company.
What are you talking about? You're always trying to sit here and defend them and try to act like, oh, Nintendo is so damn good and everything. So what's the difference? We're being honest when we're sitting there saying that they're evil when they are.
Company. Obviously, if you don't like something, that's fine. You can talk about it. But you know what some people are doing when it comes to milking information and false information and misleading, lying through omission in these type of.
Oh, like you? When it came to the whole thing with Woods and beat 'em ups, when you sat here, ran with that leak, didn't verify your information whatsoever, and then when it came to find out that that he was wrong, not even a lie, you knew that he was wrong when the partner showcase was revealed, and you ran away and hid and didn't even own up. And then at worst, when it came out that he lied, you sat here and just brushed it under the rug. You didn't even own up to what you did. You sat here, hyped up the community for nothing. And then you didn't even hold Woods accountable for it. So what are you talking about? You're being exactly how you're describing.
Things. Those type of people, I wouldn't really pay too much attention to them overall. When it comes down to a system, man, it's about the long haul. It's about the games over multiple years. And I think that these people know that because they make their own purchasing decision based off of.
Of course we know that. Everybody knows that. Anybody with an IQ above room temperature knows that.
Of that. They make their own decisions when it comes to anything based off of that. That's how most gamers operate overall. This thing is going to start getting very exciting, very interesting, especially with this rumored Nintendo Direct. If you're watching this before September at this point or in September, looks like there's going to be a lot more games announced for the system, big third-party titles as.
Didn't you say that before? You remember with the whole thing with Woods? Oh yeah, you're making the exact same mistake. You better hope that this is going to come true.
Well, so that's just something that people know. Gamers know that it's going to take time overall, and it's going to build a library over time. The Nintendo Switch 1 didn't have everything right there at launch. It took a lot of time, and people.
You are correct, but we knew what was coming out for the Switch 1. They had releases all the damn time. They didn't go almost a month without releasing something.
Were complaining like crazy in that system too. If you don't believe me, go check out my videos. I'll have some link of me trying to explain to people why all third-party developers left Nintendo Switch 1 and are taking time to get back.
Everybody knows why that they left the Switch 1. The Switch 1 hardware could not handle the games. We all know it. The games look like crap for the most part.
To the system overall. And here's the crazy thing though, guys, like it's just getting started with the games and the technology will get better as well. Developers are going to get more used to using DLSS, more used to using the unique architecture of the Nintendo Switch 2, more used to using what NVIDIA's been able to.
Why hasn't Nintendo got used to doing it? Why has Nintendo not made some better games, better quality looking games yet, huh?
do. So I wouldn't expect massive graphical bumps when it comes to what Nintendo's going to do. Don't expect it to all of a sudden turn into a crazy different type of thing, but expect things to be better optimized, expect games to get better overall when it comes to performance and when it comes to what they're doing, because they get more comfortable with the system itself. I almost see it as like using software, using certain type of software, Microsoft Excel, or using editing software. The more that you use it, the more comfortable you get, the better that you get at it. And I think that the same thing can apply to a lot of different game development when it
Of course, you would try to apply anything to sugarcoat what's going on. You're playing Elden Ring. I noticed you never want to talk about how bad that game looks, but I guarantee you, if it was rumored to run amazing, you would run with that.
comes to what you're doing there. The more you use the tools, the more you use the system, things get easier and easier and things get better and better. Never super easy overall. It's always going to be work, but I'm looking forward to seeing what these devs can do as they get used to the Nintendo Switch 2 overall. Now, I did mention third-party support before, and I think that this is obviously going to be a key as well. First-party support is by far the number one thing that Nintendo needs to make sure is great on their platforms.
Of course they do, because that's the only thing they got going for them so far. And so far, they haven't been come out strong at all. They've given us 2 overpriced games already. And the third-party support, it looks like they're going to lose that soon.
Because they sell their systems based off of that, but good third-party support can help in the time that you don't have some of those first-party games. So, for example, with the third-party support with the Nintendo Switch 1, man, it was struggleville with that, man. Like, seriously, there was not a lot of third-party games. There was barely any AA or AAA games within the first number of months. I mean, you would have
Yes, you want to know. See, well, you got to even look at it. When they had games like the PS3 and the 360, they weren't reporting a lot of them to the PS4. They did for some of them. So, but they wanted to move on and make things for the PS4. And unfortunately, the PS3, the Switch 1 just could not handle them. Look at those ports like Hogwarts Legacy. No wonder they sat here and abandoned the Switch. The system was outdated.
A few here or there, but it was few and far in between because third-party developers did not think that the Nintendo Switch 1 was going to be successful. So it struggled. I had to make 3 separate videos over the course of a year plus to explain what is happening with that because of how
everybody already knew what was happening. Everyone knew the reason why they dipped out, why they didn't want to sit here, and why third party didn't want to make games for the Switch 1. Number one, it was too expensive, and number 2, the system could not handle it.
The failure of the Wii U, and with the Nintendo 3DS, a lot of third-party developers just even abandoning that system overall, that didn't really incite any type of confidence within Nintendo's next platform. And the successor ultimately to the 3DS and to the Wii U was the Nintendo Switch.
And so far, the sales ain't looking like a lot of confidence for the third parties, except for a select few.
One, and they weren't really feeling it like that. So that's the reason why. With the Nintendo Switch 2, third-party support is significantly better. And I know that there's missing some games here and there, and people are upset about that, or doesn't have everything. I get that.
Oh, that's another game. Good thing you just showed it. That Domina Ex Machina game. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but that game is rumored to run like crap also. And you were hyping that game up. You were telling people, hey, you need to go buy it because it's going to be physically on the cartridge, and you want people to buy a game that doesn't even run good.
But if you look at the third-party games,
oh yes, Player Essence is definitely a Nintendo shill. All right, let's go read some of the comments. Sorry, guys. I got a little bit of sidetracked. Michael Griffin, I like Pokemon, but I'm probably just going to stick with Pokemon Showdown rather than ZA and whatever Gen 10 will be. I'm going to get Pokemon ZA, but I'm going to rent it, so I'm going to give it a shot. To Betful Zell. Oh, he doesn't mind predicting the downfall of PlayStation or Xbox. Oh, I know, right? I have no faith in Nintendo make new games. All they have done for the Switch 1 and Switch 2 is re-release old games at ridiculous prices and barely make anything new. Well, what they make new is just overpriced. To Rian, Wii U ports to Switch should have not been 60. They all should have been 40 max. I mean, the ones that came with the extra expansion, I was okay with it being 60. Nintendo needs to drop the price for the Switch 2 and Switch 2 games, but people just took it up. I completely agree. Like this guy, yeah, it wouldn't affect me, but it affects me in the middle because I'm in and everyone else. I think I agree. Julian something. Then the middle class thinks that the $80 and $450 console is going up. Oh, it is going up. I used to like Zelda, but I won't lie, it got stale. Yes, it did.
the Nintendo Switch 2 has gotten at the beginning, at launch, and even continued on here, way better. It blows it out. It clears what the Nintendo Switch 1 did by a very large margin. That's where it's not even debatable at all. So having stuff like Cyberpunk, Hogwarts Legacy, in addition to Fast Fusion.
Well, Hogwarts Legacy was on the Switch 1. It just ran like crap. And after I see Fast Fusion, I honestly believe Fast Fusion could have been played on the Switch 1.
And all the different types of games that have came out, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, the list goes on and on. Sega had a bunch of support with Sonic Cross Shadow.
Congratulations, you got old reports that are many years old. Nobody cares.
And a bunch of other games like Yakuza and more games announced as well. Plus, upcoming here in September, we also have 3 pretty solid games with Hollow Knight Silksong, in addition to Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion and Trails in the
Yeah, and guess what? That game you just said is rumored to run like crap.
Sky first chapter. So that right there pretty much beats out the majority of what the Nintendo Switch 1 did probably in the first couple years when it comes to third-party support. We essentially had Skyrim and we had Doom 2016, Resident Evil Revelation.
Congratulations. If the games don't run well, no one's going to care about the third-party support. If they're good games, then people will care.
I mean, there was some stuff, man, but the Nintendo Switch 2 third-party support absolutely blows Switch 1 out of the water from the gate and will probably be better throughout the whole generation as developers started in from the ground root level believing in the Nintendo Switch 2 to a degree. Maybe some of them don't have the outright confidence like 2K in putting, I don't know, Grand Theft Auto 6 on the system day and day, but I do think that there's a lot more
I seriously doubt they will ever be able to get Grand Theft Auto 6 on the Switch 2, not without cloud streaming. I really do. I don't see how that game can't even run good on the PS5 rumored. How is it going to run on the Switch 2?
confidence with the Nintendo Switch 2, considering how many games that we got. Civilization, Borderlands 4, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade, Elden Ring. These are all games that are coming out, already announced and everything. So that is...
Yes, and a bunch of those games run like crap on the Switch too. It seems like there's going to be a running theme here, Player Essence.
Definitely significantly better than what the Switch 1 was doing. Now, there still is the dev kit situation. I think this is a natural transition into that where people are kind of getting tilted. I've seen people come to my stream angry because of X, Y, and Z, random developer or anonymous.
They're not really angry. They just want to know why that you keep hyping everything up, and they want to know your opinion. People go to your live stream. They don't want to hear about the gaming news. They go to your live stream because your chat loves to poke fun at you. They love to get you riled up. They want to see you freak out on someone. That's the whole reason why anybody can watch your live stream, is just to see you throw a temper tantrum.
Developer hasn't gotten the dev kit, so that's the reason why they don't have this game and that game or certain games, which we don't really know. We don't know what developers they're talking about. We don't know what's happening overall, but I do think that it's one of those things that it's going to fix itself over time. As more time goes on, more developers will get dev kits, more Nintendo Switch 2 editions will come out, more games will come out. So that's something that just kind of fixes itself over time, as we've got way more third-party support than we got with the Nintendo Switch 1. And we didn't hear any crazy dev kit talk. Nintendo's not giving dev kits and all that for Switch 1, yet where were all the games at in the first year for the Switch 1? So I think it's one of those things to where I think developers are...
Because we knew what was coming for the Switch 1, and no one thought that, and everyone could tell the games couldn't be ran on the Switch 1. That's why nobody was screaming for dev kits.
Getting them. There might be some situations or some issues with certain dev kits, but eventually developers will get their kits, and there'll be even more support than we've even already gotten overall with the Nintendo Switch 2, especially coming from Japanese developers. I think most of them have their kits because we're seeing a lot of Japanese developers pledge support as well, or even use the Nintendo Switch 2 as one of their main platforms already, like Falcom, with stuff like Ease, Proud Nordics, and other games that are coming too. So I do think that that is...
Good job. Those are games that are just not very demanding. That's why they go on to the Switch too. We want to know, why isn't Elden Ring's release date? Where is Final Fantasy's release date? Where is everybody else's release date?
Going to be something that's going to be interesting overall. Heck, we already got Persona 3 Reload. I mean, look how long it took to get a Persona game.
From what I've heard, that Persona 3 Reload, they had to cut content to get it on there.
On the Nintendo Switch 1 overall. So I think that things are going to get better and better as time goes on, especially with the independent developers, probably developers in the West that haven't got their kits yet. But yeah, Nintendo knows that they need to get on that. Obviously, they need to get more people kits and all that. So probably...
Yes, they should have gotten people kits almost a year ago.
2026 is when things will open up a bit more as well. So I do want to just briefly talk about the end of the year games, because I think that's also interesting, and maybe I should have talked about that earlier, but that's okay, whatever. So let's talk about the end of the year games. I think that that's going to be really interesting. We still have the direct that's coming up, so there'll probably be another game or two announced. There's stuff like Splatoon Raiders that we know nothing about overall. Metroid Prime 4.
We don't know nothing about anything. And Metroid Prime 4, everybody is still waiting for that damn game. Wait, it's going to probably get pushed out till next year.
Beyond still needs to get dated as the time that I'm recording this video. I think it will, and I think it's coming out this year. But once again, we will see. I think that's going to be awesome. Kirby Air Riders November 20th. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Kind of weird and quirky. Sakurai's kind of crazy.
Of course you would think it's fun. You'd think anything Nintendo does is fun, for crying out loud. But be honest, you weren't even excited for Kirby Air Ride back in the day. The only reason why you're excited for this is because it's Sakurai, but you want to sit here and have everything be successful so you can claim that your piece of plastic is the best.
At times when it comes to him and how he puts together his games, but he has a down-to-earth feel that shows that, you know, he's a true gamer overall and truly does care about the games that he creates. So that's going to be a lot of fun too overall. Pokemon Legends ZA, that's going to be the big system selling title, new title for the end of the year for the Nintendo Switch 2. You got the bundle.
For one, that game's not even worth it either. We already know Pokemon Legends ZA is not worth the $70 price tag. It doesn't even have voice acting. Why the hell are we reading dialogue for $70 freaking dollars? Oh no, Metroid 4 is coming well before 2040. Let's not try to jinx that one here. Come on.
It's coming to Switch 1 as well, just like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. But most people that want that best experience when it comes to Pokemon, if you're looking forward to it, you're going to buy it on the Nintendo Switch 2 if you can get one. Or if you can't, you're going to ask for it for Christmas overall when it comes to the kids. So I think that the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Pokemon Legends ZA, I think that can still do incredibly well and help move systems quite a bit. Now, if
Yeah, even though it's not even worth the price. This is how low your standards are. You literally, if this would have been Sony and they released Pokemon in this state, you would have criticized them for it.
you look at Metroid Prime 4 Beyond,
I know it's sarcasm.
or Kirby Air Riders, those games don't necessarily have the biggest attraction or pull or sell, but I think if you combine them, and maybe even with the Splatoon Raiders, or you combine it with the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, you combine it with some of the other games that are coming out, they can all collectively help push the system and kind of uplift it as one maybe bigger game would do. So I think that you combine that Pokemon Legends ZA with Donkey Kong Bonanza in addition to Mario Kart World, because those games are evergreen for the duration of the Nintendo Switch 2's life.
Well, they may be evergreen, but guess what? You're still overpaying for them. But I love how you always want to hype up your community and literally normalize these overpriced games. I guarantee you that even though you love to say, oh, I don't sit here and like $80 games, I don't agree with them, I still think you would buy them.
I think that you combine all that with Pokemon plus the third party and the other Nintendo Switch 2 first party games, you're going to get a really good holiday season, and it's going to be a lot of fun because there's a lot of games coming out and not enough time to play all of them. First world problem and good thing to have overall when you got...
Stop lying. There is not a lot of games coming out for the Switch 2 and you know it. I honestly do believe that I think he gets paid for something. Maybe Nintendo's not paying him, but I do think he gets paid to overhype this from someone.
Too many games when it comes to play. So what do you guys think about everything here that I had to say about the Nintendo Switch 2? Let me know
I think you're full of shit and you're overhyping it as usual. That's what I freaking think.
in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG games and more right here on screen.
Oh, you know what? No, I am not going to hit the like button. Not going to happen.
Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Metal Gear Solid.
All right, so there is one more video, but I'm going to have to call it quits. Yes, Salty Vigilante. Yes, I am a little salty right now. Player Essence, Oh, it's Franco. How's it going, Franco? Yeah, what? You don't agree with me there, Franco? I think you're the one I'm thinking of. I don't know. You might be someone different. All right, before I go, I'm going to read off some of the comment, to the chat. To Power Mad UK, don't go to his live stream. He just insults random people. Yes, he does. I will admit, it is very entertaining, but that's exactly what he does. To Juwan, the sad part is some of them are gonna pay due to diligence of they money. Very true. Julian, I'm not, my parents are like this. I don't exactly understand. Rayon, Persona 3, yay, another old overpriced report. I don't know if it's overpriced, but I know that they cut content from what I've heard. To Betful, it's going to be worse and worse. Yes, it is. Rian, Metroid not coming until 2040 at this rate. I really hope not. Pokemon ZA is 30 max. No. Yep, I know it's sarcasm. Nintendo is so bad, sometimes you just got to be sarcastic. Very true. This guy gets... Okay, we already talked about that. Pokemon Polished Crystal is fun. Yes, it is very fun. Like, Nintendo is paying him good to run with good and positive talk points, which is false. I don't think Nintendo is actually paying him, Because if you look at the live streams, he's a detriment to Nintendo. So there's no way that he actually is getting paid by Nintendo. Maybe by a sponsor or someone else, but I don't think he's getting paid by Nintendo. Good luck on your stream, dude. Thank you very much. I'm almost done with it. And yeah, Franco, Salty Vigilante. Player Essence does nothing but overhype games and rant on other people. Yes, he does. He has 100% paid. Player Essence spouts too much nonsense. I agree. Player Essence loves to be... No, yes, he does. Franco, yo, bitch. Okay. I mean, after all, Doug Bowser loves his hat. That's very true. Franco, missed here, a.k.a. Incel game at 10 FPS. Yo, Tierra, what's up? I wouldn't be surprised. Miss Tierra, a.k.a. Rian is an incel. Rian, I don't think he's an incel. Let's not call names here. I can't put it past Nintendo. Well, neither can I. But guys, that was an awesome stream. I enjoyed every minute of it. How am I pathetic? Please explain, Franco, how am I pathetic? You know, Franco, if you don't agree with me, you're more than welcome to call in. I will open up my Discord, and if you got Discord, you can call in, and we can have a discussion live. Is that, you know, are you up for it? I don't know if you're talking to me, Franco, or someone else. Franco, who are you talking to? Yeah, I agree. Keep it civil. Let's keep it civil. I don't know who they're talking with, but I'm going to let you guys go. We've been live streaming for almost 2.5 hours. I had a lot of fun. So I will see you guys next week all over again. Remember to please watch my new video that I released today. It's about the beta on Sonic Crossworlds. I think you guys are going to love it. And until next time, guys, stay vigilant.